a lot of players. Why Chelsea plays so good? Because they have three central defender closers, the two holding midfielders, rotating move closers, the pockets closers. They have a structure of 5 and 2 players so close, and the distances are so close. And at the same time, they are so wide with the wing backs. They are so deep with the Werner Muckers in behind. That's why you cannot be close, because they push you here, and a lot of good players in the middle. And that's why it's difficult to to face the teams like they want the ball and they want to play with the ball. And we try to do it since day one. We are a lot.
Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. It's the Champions League final tonight. Manchester City versus Chelsea. Guardiola there. You have to go and take a listen to it. Big interview done by Rio Ferdinand with Pep Guardiola, and it took him 37 seconds for him to break that. He understands Chelsea. He knows how Chelsea play. He knows why Chelsea are difficult to break down. But will Pep Guardiola tonight have an answer? That's the bit. It's okay knowing what's going on. It's okay knowing what's what. But there's another thing, delivering against it. We're here for the next hour, 2 hours. I haven't really set a time limit. And what a night we've got. Champions League quizzes. We've got we're gonna be tiering tonight the clubs from GOAT to teams you'll never remember from the Champions League era. We've got a big tiering session to do. We're gonna be taking your phone calls on the game, how you feeling, Chelsea fans, City fans, we want to hear from you. We've got Patrick backstage, who's a City fan. It's going to be coming on very, very soon to have his say as well. And of course, your live comments. Aside from that, big congratulations to Brentford for making it into the Premier League, and thoroughly deserved from their point of view. Very good season in the Championship again, and first time in their history, I believe. First time in the history of their football club, they're going to be playing in the Premier League or in the top flight. That is absolutely sensational. And they're very good as well. I had the game on. I saw large parts of it. I did pop out for a small period to get the little man's haircut. But there we go. I need to brighten my light, by the way. My light's a little bit too dull. And the blue, that should be better. Is that... Yeah, that's much better. I'm happier with that now. That's better. There we go. So to turn the lights up a little bit. What's in the mug? Honestly, tea. I bought a new teapot today. This is how old I'm getting. I bought a new teapot. You can see here. It's got my nice bit of tea in here. Just been getting myself psyched up for the game tonight. Getting myself psyched up. I'm not a fan of either club, as everybody knows, but I'm very, very excited. I love big nights. I love big games of football. There's no doubt. I want your views and opinions. I want you to sign up and become a Football Terrace member. We're going to be taking your calls very soon as well. But first on the show this evening, we don't have very many City fans on the terrace. And that is something that's going to change over the course of next season, 110%. We've got Patrick, who's coming on. He's an up-and-coming YouTuber, huge Manchester City fan. Welcome to the terrace, my friend. How are you? You're just on mute, brother. Unmute your line, bro.
How you doing, Terry?
I'm very good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. A bit nervous, and unfortunately, I've been sick for the past 2 days, but I'm still soldiering on. So excited, but nervous. Thanks for having me here, Terry. Thanks for having me. Quite a surprise to get a message from you, to be honest.
Well, you come highly recommended. You come highly recommended. So I thought we'll do it. We need to get more City fans on. We have Jan, who's brilliant, Rose every now and then, but I'm sitting there like, we need some more City contingents here at the Football Terrace as we grow. How are you? It's the biggest night in the history of your football club. I'm reading an article today. KDB has said that there will be failures if they don't win the Champions League. How are you feeling about it? Does it feel like your season comes down to this point? Will you feel disappointed at the end of the season if you don't win?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've always been one of those City fans who've felt that we've won for the past 10 years. We've won the Premier League, right? And we've won the FA Cup. We've won the Carabao Cup. Now it's called Papa John's Club, or whatever they call it these days, the Community Shield. But I believe that having the opportunity to win a Champions League will take us a tier higher. I don't know if that makes sense. We will actually move down from where we are and actually be part of the table with the big boys. Of course, you guys have got 2 or 3, and Chelsea have got 1. Liverpool have got 6. Madrid have got 13. I can go with Madrid and Milan. Those guys have got so many. But we have to have a seat at the table. And a lot of City fans, I know the original City fans who are from Man City usually say they don't really care. They would rather just have the Premier League. But I think, yes, we've reached a point where we have to step up. We really have to be part of that European elite. And the only way to do it is not just to reach a final, is by winning the Champions League. So I believe if we lose it today, it's an opportunity missed. I think next season, majority of these teams that didn't do so well are not just going to sit back. They're going to buy more players, and they're going to get better. So if there's an opportunity for Man City to actually win the first Champions League, I think this is it. And KDB, I think he understands that he wants this because he's 30 or he's turning 30. And Mahrez is 30, Kyle Walker is 31. So these players, Gundogan is 30. These players need it now. Only Foden can sit down maybe and say, you know what, I'm 21, I still have time. But most of these players need to get it now. Yaya failed. Unfortunately, they couldn't get us through the line. David Silva's companies, great players, amazing, Zabaleta. So I think these guys are like, you know what? Let's get this club. Let's make history and be part of the history. So we do need this, whether people might say that we don't need it or not, but we actually do need this Champions League. I think so.
Do you know what, bro? You know where I agree with you so much on that, and it's so refreshing to hear because you do need a Champions League when you're trying to achieve what the owners of Man City are setting out to do. The owners of Manchester City are trying to become the biggest club in England and the biggest club in the world. And you can catch up fairly quickly with income, shirt sales, sponsorship deals, because we're all in the Premier League and we're all in and around the Champions League. So marketing is a lot, finding the marketing growth is a lot quicker and easier than the prestige, the history that comes with things. And you know what? 10 years ago, people were picking City, in my opinion, partly because of the project, but because of money. People are now picking City because of how great a football team you are on the football pitch. And on top of that, adding Champions Leagues gives you an extra level of prestige, gives you an extra level
That's true, yeah.
of buy. And the same can be said for Chelsea this evening. Chelsea win, that takes them to 2 Champions Leagues, 2 more than any other team in London. They're still third. They catch some of the lesser teams from the past, the sort of Villas and Nottingham Forests that have picked up these trophies. They start to push themselves. They're already on the big table, but they push themselves up that table a little bit more. And then suddenly, any Champions League after this that Chelsea win, it's 3s and 4s and 5s, and suddenly you're talking about royalty within European football. And the most important thing is to get that first one done. Look how long Arsenal were in the Champions League for, and they haven't got one. And who knows when they're going to be back? It could be another 20 years now until they get one.
Yeah,
so
true,
strike while the iron is hot. You're the best you've ever been in relation to that, which makes sense. You saw the little clip as we went live where Pep Guardiola has basically said he sussed out Tuchel. He knows exactly what Tuchel does. He did it in 37 seconds. Do you think there's going to be a plan tonight to circumvent the Thomas Tuchel way?
You know, Ate, it's been an amazing game of cat and mouse and amazing game of chess between these two. They all seem to be. This is the first time. I don't know if you've seen both their clips, their interviews. They all are not flinching. They're looking at the camera, straightforward, and both saying, "I know what the other one is going to do. I'm not scared." And Tuchel said it straightforward on Sky. I'm going to win this Champions League. And he didn't flinch at all. No weakness at all. Straightforward. And then Guardiola goes to the interview and says, you know what? It doesn't matter about those 2 games. This is fresh. And then he explains them, which I was impressed, by the way. I know a few people were trying to make fun that any competent coach can break down somebody. I understand. But as you say, he did it in 30 seconds where he just said few things. And I was like, whoa. I've never seen Chelsea like that. I know I've watched them, but he just broke them down in a few minutes. I don't know if that's purposely trying to put fear in Tuchel or I think
it is. I think it is. It's to say I've got you. But the point is, in life, there's knowing something. I know how Canelo boxes. I know how Floyd Mayweather boxes. Could I beat them in a fight? You know, I don't know if you're a boxing fan. Lomachenko, I know he lost recently, but people just said that, oh, I know how he fights and I know what he does. You train for it. And then reality kicks in. Mike Tyson famously said, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And that's what I would say tonight. Of course, Pep Guardiola understands how Thomas Tuchel plays football. It's the same way, by the way, championship managers understand what Pep's doing. They know what he's doing, but it's the ability to be able to circumvent and stop it. It's going to be an amazing night tonight. What way are you swaying right now? Are Man City going to win their first ever Champions League title? Or do you think Chelsea are going to beat you for the third time on the bounce? What's your head saying, and what's your heart saying, Patrick?
Okay, I'm going to start with my head. My head says that whether we take those two games for granted and say we never played the full team, I think Chelsea do think they have our number and they're going to make us struggle. I think Chelsea have mastered a way to play in league games. The way Chelsea are playing is special for league games. I can give an example of Villarreal. I don't want to start that because a lot of Man United fans are not happy with me on one of the podcasts when I mentioned Villarreal as an example. They're like, please, we want to forget that.
Yeah, go away. We're just not talking about it. It's done. There's
certain ways you play as a team. It suits a cup game like this. They're going to stop pressure. So I think it's going to be a tight game. What my head is saying is it's going to be Chelsea scoring first. And we're going to be surprised and City will wake up and then it will be a 1-1. In the second half, we score back. Then I have a feeling we're going to go to extra time. Then somehow, and I know a lot of people are going to say that's not a good prediction, is somehow one of the two sides, whoever subs well or keeps his subs or stars well, will end up winning a 2-1. I can't say which side. I just have a feeling that this game might actually end 1-1. But
you're going to get splinters in your bum. Who's winning, bro? Who's winning?
Okay. Do you want to know the City fan in me? What the City fan in me has been saying for the past week?
You're a City right now. You're not a YouTuber. You're not a content creator. You're a City fan. What's happening, bro? What's going to happen?
Okay, as a City fan, I think we can beat them 3-1. That's me. The City fan in me says 3-1.
Look at that. That's what we wanted to hear. Patrick, it'd be great to get you back on at full time tonight. I know you've got a lot of other shows to do between now and then, so go and enjoy them. Have a great time, my brother. I'll send you the link later to come on and have your say. Good luck. I am going to wish, even though I'm a Man United fan, I'm going to wish you good luck, you blue-nosed bastard. Do you know what I mean? Go and have a good game.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ted. Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys.
Mate, absolute pleasure. Top man. Thank you. Do you know what it is? I'm trying to stay positive right now. I'm going to be happy for my fellow content creators and YouTubers and callers. Although there's the Man United fan of me that just wants to put on Netflix, watch Cobra Kai over again, and wake up, drink loads of wine, and then wake up tomorrow morning and just briefly glance at the back pages to who won it, and then get on with the rest of my life. But I can't do that. I've got to do my job. I've got to bring this here for you. But we've got over 1,000 people watching now already, which is amazing. But hit that like button, people. Please share the stream on your social media. As I said later on, we're going to be ranking and tiering. I'm actually going to show and put it up on my screen for you right about now. We're going to be ranking and tiering. Daniel's coming on just next as well, by the way. I know he's got a busy day ahead, but we're going to be ranking and we're going to be tiering the Champions League era teams. I'm so looking forward to doing that. As you can see, they're all there. Juve is here, by the way. They're just they're just blacked out. But these are all the winners of the Champions League since 1993, and we're going to be ranking them into GOAT, almost perfect, very good, average, no one remembers. So that's going to be coming up a little bit later in the show. So make sure you stay with the Football Terrace for that. Also got a quiz. We've got a quiz coming up a little bit later as well. We're going to go through a series of 20 questions. We're going to see how many I can get right live on the air. Plus, I need your super chats. Today is the fight. We were going to do the prize draw at the end of the month. We're going to do the prize draw tonight after the Champions League final to mark the end of the season. We've already got about 15 names in the hat, including D1, Ginger Fury, Aryan. Get your super chat questions in now. And I'm going to pick 5 lucky winners to go into the prize draw this evening. For the Football Terrace. So get your super chat questions in for me as well. So comment here from Daniel. Long time, no super chat. And I know you've been saving up for your hard-earned Chelsea season ticket next year. So well done you. But he says, I'm nervous as F. Help me, Terry. But we're here. We're going to have some fun now. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be lively. And by the way, I can't wait for next year. I'm actually nearly in tears today because We started buying the equipment. We started the soundproofing of our brand new studio. And by this time next year, these shows are going to be done live with the group and the gang together. So I can't wait for that. So keep them chats coming. Keep those comments coming. Make sure you're sharing, liking, and all that. Terry, are you partial to a bribe? I'm partial to investment. I'm partial, never a bribe. I'm always partial to investment. We're going to get Daniel on in a moment. Daniel is, of course, a Chelsea fan. When I see his lovely face appear on camera behind the scenes, I'll get him in. He might have just gone somewhere. I'm nervous. I'm so nervous, but hopefully we can win the Champions League. Come on, City, is what Mido has got to say today. But without any further ado, Daniel joins me now. How you doing, bro? You're on mute, my guy.
Always happens. Always happens. What are you saying? You good?
Yeah, man. I'm fine. I'm excited. I'm excited about the final because it's just I have to look at it as win-win because it's lose-lose, but that makes it win-win. I can just enjoy the game. So yeah, I'm excited about it. How are you feeling, though, mate? Sort of 3 hours out from kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm nervous. Let me not even lie. I think back in the day when I was a kid. So obviously I wasn't fortunate enough to have Sky Sports, so I was watching games through Match of the Day. And you know how there was BBC News just before Match of the Day was about to start, and they tell you not to listen to the scorelines. So I literally want to do that. I literally want to just go through my day, not see the match, and then watch your Match of the Day and then know who won through that, innit? You know what I'm saying? It's almost that hope. But look, at the end of the day, look, all the pressure's on Man City. I think as fans, we have pressure just because of the smoke we give. So we're ready to receive the smoke if we do end up losing. But if we're talking about the football, all the pressure's on Man City and Pep. I mean, I know Pep says that the board didn't expect him to win. They didn't say, oh, you have to win the Champions League. But indirectly, he has to win the Champions League, especially if he wants his tenure at Man City to be crowned with like the pinnacle of success that he was looking at. This is a win-win for Chelsea, really and truly. You get experience in the Champions League final, you get experience on the biggest stage of them all, and you have the opportunity to do what I was saying in the process. You know, people have always been talking about Liverpool's process, give Klopp 5 years, and give your manager 5 years and he will reap the benefits. Or give your manager, like we've seen now with Oli, clearly the process isn't what we expected it to be because he's been there 3 years, got to a final and didn't win. So surely, like, when to what end? You know what I'm saying? So we can cheat the process and basically trap people up when it comes to the process thing. So yeah, man, look, I don't even care what the line is. I just want to win. Like, you know, when you're just done analyzing, I just want to win the game. Literally, that's me right now.
You know what it is? I think there comes this point where, as football fans, although we do it, you know, you're a writer, you're a content creator, there comes a point where it's like, I don't care. I just want to watch the game of football. I want to enjoy the game of football, and we can pick the bones out of it afterwards. You know, it's a mad one, really, because I was looking at this earlier. This is the list of teams. So only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Literally, only like 13 teams in nearly 30 years have won the Champions League, right? So there've been a few more, obviously, in finals. You see, it's such a unique thing in the sense of knowing what this day building up to the biggest final in club football feels like. But it's, you know what? I love the FA Cup because it's historic. But winning the Champions League changes the dimension, the size, and the opinion of outsiders of your football club. I think it's that big. And when you start winning, when you ask about who the biggest clubs in the world are, the reason that AC Milan, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, of course, I'm forgetting them for a second, Liverpool, the reason why those four, Man United to a degree with 3 still, the reason why those clubs are mentioned is because of how many leagues they've won. But a big thing is what have they done in Europe? That European pedigree sets them apart from domestically other teams. And it was always one of those things when I know City were coming through and with all their money and yourselves, and you started really competing and winning titles. It was that, you know, both your owners, but we've got to do it in Europe. It needs to be European and domestic if we're ever going to sit at the table. And there's this chance tonight for Chelsea to just pull further away from all the other London clubs. I mean, no London club can ever talk to you if you win tonight. Do you know what I mean? 2 European Cups. And Do you know what I mean? And on top of that, you're then moving further up that echelon, that table now, where you're dying, you're almost achieving, you know, one win, and you equal Man United's if you win tonight, and that must be an exciting prospect.
No, for sure, man, for sure. You literally hit the nail on the head. I mean, when you look at the Champions League, every fan, every player wants to win the Champions League. It's just got that. It's got that prestige that no other trophy has. When you win the Champions League, like think about it. When Chelsea lost to Man United in 2008, that was kind of like a thing where we need to get back to the Champions League final as quick as possible. And it really took time for us to get back. Because in my opinion, look, you might disagree, but when I think about that final and the team that we had, look, that Man United team was great, but I honestly felt like we were of equal weighting in terms of how good both teams were. Like you had Lampard, you had Essien, you had Ballack, you had Drogba, you had Nicolas Anelka. Then obviously you guys had Cristiano Ronaldo. Like that was equal weighting. This is our second final now as the overwhelming underdog. Like overwhelming underdog, and it's like, do I really care that we go into finals these days now as underdogs in terms of the Champions League final? I don't really mind as long as you go in there and win it, because once you win it, history says you've won it twice, not you were the underdogs twice and you won it, because that puts us, it just puts us on a serious pedestal.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, Man United won it in 2008. It was the same team in the final a year later, but we were a better team a year later. Do you know why? We weren't favourites to beat Barcelona in the semi-finals. And we were back, and it was evens with you. When we got to we won the league much easier in 2009 than we did 2008, and we were the favourites to beat Barcelona. We were seen as, by the professionals, we were seen as a better team a year later than the previous year, and we got smacked in that final. We didn't lay a glove on them out the opening 5 minutes, and it can happen like that. And the one thing about football, like history and prestige, is very, very important, and it's obviously it's even more beautiful when you're witnessing it happen. And you know, as young Chelsea fans, you know, you could think about how many Chelsea fans you know that are old, that maybe waited 50, 60, 70 years to get to this point. You're going through it now in your early 20s where you might win your second. You've got and Roman ain't going nowhere. You know, you could, it's time you get to the twilight of your footballing life, you know, you guys could have 5, 6, 7 of these bad boys with the hit rate that you've got. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It's going to be an amazing night. I'm so excited about it. Right now, what's your heart saying about the game, bro?
I think what I would do, my head, if I go with my head, like I've been saying that I think City are the favourites. I don't see how City lose, because a lot of it has to do with the 2 previous times we've played them. Like for us to beat City 3 times in a row in 3 different competitions, like that is a big statement. Like I think that would be like maybe a step too far for this team, especially seeing as how this team performed in an FA Cup final. This team confuses me. Like, I don't want to spend too long on making my prediction. Like I don't want to overcomplicate it, but this team just confuses me. I can pick out 3 big games where we've been excellent. Atletico Madrid, both legs. Real Madrid, second leg in particular. And I can pick 3 games where we were terrible. Aston Villa, where we needed top 4. Arsenal, which would have been a great game to win. And the FA Cup final. So I've seen my team literally show 2 sides of itself, and I just don't know what team is gonna show up today. But my head says City, but my heart does say Chelsea. Like I do think we can do it if the best version of us shows up. I actually think the reason why the best version of us beats the best version of Man City is because tactically, I think we respond well to what they throw at us in terms of how expansive they will be, the spaces that will be open for us, causing players to track back that wouldn't want to track back. So, for example, if Reece James or Chilwell get high up the pitch, it causes their wingers to track back, which they don't really want to do. So, yeah, I think the best version of us shows up. My heart does definitely say Chelsea. So I'll go with Chelsea, man. 2-1, man. 2-1.
You know, that's funny, right? I watched a film last night called Miracle. Disney film. It's about the American ice hockey team that went up against the Soviet Union, who'd like won 50 odd games on the bounce going up, and they killed everybody. And he basically, there's a moment where he's explaining the tactics of what, in terms of what people aren't willing to do X to beat Y. And I get the sense that Tuchel had done that in the last couple of times he played Pep. And I almost feel like Man City tonight are going to have to sacrifice an element of how they want to play in the Pep system if they're going to beat you. And the one thing I'd say about Pep Guardiola, I've seldom seen that, where he gets his team to stop playing their way to win. I just think it could walk into Chelsea's hands and just, it's not going to be easy. You have to be like Chelsea are going to have to put, from a defensive shape point of view, They're going to have to put the greatest performance in of their lives, because there's always extra anxiety and stress and pressure that comes. If you watch a Champions, even as a fan watching a Champions League final, it's exhausting. So you're a player in it, same thing. But I think yourselves are going to do it, to be fair. And that's no smoke meant there for City. But bro, I'll let you get back. You were outside earlier, so it looks like you're having a day with the friends or whatever it is you're doing, mate. Go and enjoy yourself. Have a good drink and what. I'm sure we'll speak to you. Well, we might speak to you later. It depends how happy or sad you are. But speak to you soon, my guy. Take care, Daddy. Have a good day, mate. Have a good day, bro. Saeed here with a super chat who says, getting super nervous now, but I think it will be a 50-50. Come on, Chelsea. Jamie Phillips with a super chat as well. It might have gone through past. Sorry, I can't get it on the screen. The comments already shot past, but he says, has there ever seen a quieter build-up to a Champions League final ever? There's zero media, no one talking about it. Really, Jamie? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's got, at the moment, we actually, Snack did some research on this. It's getting 134% more clicks and views on social media than any other football subject at this moment in time. Champions League is huge. And I hope you're liking the new stream quality as well, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping you're noticing we've upped the levels of the stream quality today. I was checking it on my phone to see what it's like. Yeah, it's better. I think that is coming through a little bit clearer, a little bit nicer. But get your super chat questions in to go into our prize draw later. We will be starting to tier very, very soon all the Champions League winners since 1993, since the Champions League became the Champions League from the European Cup as well. I want your predictions. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're feeling in the build-up to this game. We're going to open up the lines very, very soon for you to have this. But Comrade is going to be with us in a few moments when I see his wonderful face appear back on camera. And then we're going to have a little look. Then we're going to have a look at a quiz. We're going to take a little look at a really cool quiz we're going to be doing, courtesy of our friends and our partners over at Give Me Sport. We're going to do this directly off of one of their... I'll put it on the screen, actually, as you can see it here. There it is. It's this is the quiz that we're going to do here. I can't zoom in. I tried zooming in one more and then it goes too big and we can't actually see. Well, we can scroll a bit and we do it that way around. So we're going to do the quiz in a few moments. We're going to be answering. We're going to see how good my knowledge is. We're going to see how good my knowledge is on this as well. That's what we're going to do. So what's the stream sitting on here? Was that 258 likes? Is that all? Come on, view. Let's get this past 1,000 likes while we are live on the air. I'm going to share the link in the live comment section as well for you to phone in and have your say, because I do want to hear from you all today. My lovely, lovely viewers and my brilliant members. You know how much I respect you all. One here, Juan C says, what a season, Terry, for all the teams, wild ride. But tonight ends with Killer Kai lifting the UEFA Champions League trophy. Yeah, it's been an amazing season, and it's been a tough one and a brilliant one for me as a content creator and as a person. And that's why I'm quite looking forward to tonight, almost like a kind of celebration of the season for the Football Terrace community as well. And it puts a full stop on the end. And the new season begins pretty quickly because we're covering the Euros. We've got the new studio on the way. We've got all the new member tiers that you're going to start seeing the movement on that very, very soon as well. We've got the first prototypes, email pictures back to us today of the exclusive Football Terrace member scarves. It's going to be amazing. And next season is going to be huge for us. A Timo masterclass incoming. Torres like redemption is what JP has got to say here. Let's go to another call now. We're going to go to Tom Little that's joined us here. Tom, welcome back to the Terrace, mate. What you saying?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. What you saying, bro?
I've never not looked forward to a Champions League final as much as this. There's no possible way I can enjoy it. Either Chelsea get closer to us or City win their first. But as a game, it's going to be a very interesting one, isn't it? Both managers seem to have sussed each other out. Whether that's just mind games, we don't know. But they both seem very confident to have sussed each other out.
Without a doubt, it's if you take away your allegiance, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm taking away how I feel about City and Chelsea as a rival, and I'm looking at this final purely from a tactical, technical point of view. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I think Tuchel getting the 2 wins in the league and cup adds an extra dimension to this game?
100%. 100%. I mean, no one's been able to crack this Chelsea team properly, apart from West Brom. But no one's been able to properly crack it yet. If there's anyone who can, if there's any team that can, you'd guess it'd be Manchester City. And you just wonder whether, with the occasion that it is, a Champions League final's a massive occasion, whether the pressure will get to a manager and they'll make a mistake that they'll look back on afterwards and go, really shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Because it's what happens.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's, I think for City, I think there's so much pressure on Manchester City tonight. And I don't even mean that from I'm not even trying to sound bitter. It's taken them a long time to get there. And I read an article today, I think it was from Martin Samuel. And he was very candid in it, and he's right. City's aim is to be looked at and considered the best team in the world. To be the best team in the world, you've got to be successful in Europe. And you're successful in Europe by one metric only. It's not how many times you qualify, not how many group stages you've been out of, not how many semis or finals you get to. It's how many of the trophies with the big ears that you lift. And when it comes to that European pedigree, now there's a debate to be had. A team could have 25 league titles and 3 Champions Leagues, and that could be seen as they're a bigger club than a team with 5 Champions League but 10 league titles. That's a great debate, but I don't think you can move into the ultimate elite end top tier in terms of legacy until you've got a Champions League.
Yeah.
And who knows how long it's going to take City to bounce back from this? Who knows what defeat does? Does defeat tonight for Man City re-energize and push them onto the next level? Or does it knock them and they come back next year sort of a shadow of themselves a little bit, almost finishing the season disappointed and not being able to bounce back? It's going to be so intriguing to see where I think with Chelsea, I still think it's a bit of a free hit in the sense of
there was no expectations for Chelsea. They were expected to be like a round 16 quarterfinal, seeing they made it to the final. It's like it was in 2018 when we played Real Madrid. You go into that game just looking forward to the experience in the moment, but you've got no expectations. And if you lose, you're not going to sit there and have all the media outcry of, oh, well, he's done this, it was wrong, this, that, and the other. It's the young team. It got to them. It's all right. It's expected. They'll build off that experience and they'll come back stronger. For City, this is everything they've built to. You, like you were saying, you can't push on to that next level of greatness if you haven't done it in Europe. It's one thing doing it in the league, which is what was holding us back a little bit, but it's one thing doing it in the league, but Europe's the next thing. If they can get that, then they're in an entirely different conversation. It'll be a really interesting game, though, because you've got a manager for City who's done it, won it, knows what it's like, but a club that hasn't. And Chelsea have a club that's won it, done it, knows what it's like, but a manager who don't. So it's which one of them two comes out on top.
Of course, absolutely, and I feel like thank you very much for the super chats. We've got Dave and Adam backstage. We're going to get on really, really soon as well. When you look at the final, this is why the pressure's on City as well. Last year, Bayern Munich, PSG, Bayern Munich favourites and they won. Liverpool, Spurs, you were the favourites, you won. Madrid, Liverpool, Madrid were the favourites, they won. Pretty much every final, all 3 of them on the bounce, they were that. Barca, Juve. Barca were the favourites, they won. Real Madrid, Atletico. Real Madrid were the favourites, they won. Bayern Munich, Dortmund. Bayern Munich were the favourites, they won. The last time an underdog won this final was Chelsea versus Bayern Munich. And then if you keep going backwards, you could when it was Inter Bayern Munich, I would say it was about equal. Barca, Man United in 2008, the favourites won. Man United lost with the slight favourites in 2008, fairly even in 2008. Liverpool the favourites against Milan. Oh, no, actually, Milan were still favourites against you in 2007. They won. And then Barca were the favourites against Arsenal. They won. You beating Milan. So literally, if you go back to 2005, so we're talking a 15, 16-year stretch, only 3 times could you say a proper underdog in the final where it's massively in the favour of the losing team, where it's gone in reverse. It puts a lot of pressure on City because invariably the favourites win the final. And I think that they have to be considered favourites for how long their team's been together, the money, the manager, the fact they're champions of England and Chelsea, for all intents and purposes, scraped 4th place according to a lot of people. So it's going to be such an intriguing mental battle tonight, along with the footballing aspect of it as well. I'm intrigued to see who is going to come out on top.
I look forward to the game, but I don't want anyone to win. That's my situation. I can't wait for someone's going to win, but if I could choose, I wouldn't want either team to win. That's how it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I do understand that. Who are you going with though? Who are you predicting, Tom, is going to win this final tonight?
I'm going to go Chelsea on penalties.
I'd love it to go all the way to penalties. There we go. Listen, Tom, thanks for calling in, mate. We'll keep you backstage. We'll get you on for some of the tiering a little bit later. Top man. We've shared the link again, ladies and gentlemen, for you to call in and have your say in the live chat feature. If you're a City fan, if you're a Chelsea fan, if you're a neutral, and you want to speak about this game, call in now. Click on the StreamYard link. We want to hear from you. Centurion here with another super chat says, Chelsea couldn't even buy their tickets, returned 800 tickets, go to Porto, and you can see the sky blue shirts. We will smoke them 4-0. 4-0. That is a mega prediction. Mega prediction that is. It truly is. Someone here says, everything Terry predicts as a neutral is negatively biased against City. I'm calling you the favourites. That's not negatively biased. You are the favourites. You're the better team. You're the current champions of England. You've got the more experienced manager, the thicker, deeper, better, more experienced squad. That makes you favourites. I think you should win. I don't really get what's disrespectful about that. I really don't. Let's get to some of your calls here. We've got Dave on the line who wants to have you say. What are you saying, Dave?
You all right, Terry?
Yeah, I'm very good. Who do you support, buddy? Let everybody know.
Chelsea, mate. Chelsea.
How are you feeling?
Mate, to be honest, I am literally, the bricks are coming out, mate. It is just such a nervy day. I mean, I went to bed last night just all calm and everything. As soon as my eyes opened, I was like, oh, flip, we're in a Champions League final. It's just like an emotional roller coaster. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And how confident are you in Thomas Tuchel tonight that he can get his third win on the bounce over Pep Guardiola and land you your second ever Champions League title?
Do you know what? I mean, with this team, and especially on the Tuchel, like how it's been for the past 4 months or so, it's just, you really can't predict it, innit? It's like we go into one game, we think, oh, we might come out with like something else, and then we end up just like winning. For example, like the Atletico game and the Madrid game. And then we go into other games where we feel like, oh, we should be smashing this, and then we end up losing, like Arsenal and Leicester. So really can't say, but I'll just say one thing. Like the thing that gives me confidence today is that the fact that Tuchel has like done it against the elite of the elite, like time and time again this season. That's the only thing that's like pushing me through. Like he did it against Zidane, Simone, to name a few, Guardiola twice. I'm trying to look at it as a fact that just because he's beaten Guardiola twice, that shouldn't be a negative thing. That should actually propel us to actually give us more confidence to go and do it. I mean, if you look at Guardiola on the bench sometimes against Tuchel, you know, when he's got his bottle coming out and like just sweating buckets, you know that the pressure is on him more. And like Tuchel, he's calm and everything. His in-game management is perfect. Yeah, I just believe in Tuchel. I believe in this kid. Like no matter what, like we've been through the highs and the lows this season. I think the time right now is just like put that aside and just enjoy the moment and get behind the team and just support them no matter what the outcome.
There we go. Dave, great call, mate. Thank you for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that, buddy. Top man. Mohammed here says, Terry, you can't be acting like Chelsea are Liverpool, Chelsea 2012 level underdogs. This is a 60-40 game. This Chelsea underdog story is a joke, is what Mohammed Yusuf has got to say here. JP says, City fans need to relax. They haven't won anything in Europe. Leave it to Chelsea to ruin their goals and dreams, is what JP's got to say here. Just do a few more calls and then we're going to go through and we're going to do the quiz. We're going to do the quiz, then more calls, then we're going to do the ranking and tiering show. So stay with the Football Terrace. A great amount of fun, few giggles. The only channel that actually gives you an opportunity to phone in and have your say as randoms as well. Let's go next to gotta Bash. I want to say Bashar. I think he's how to pronounce the name. Welcome to the Terrace, mate. How you doing?
What's up, Terry? How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Who do you support, buddy?
Well, I support Inter Milan. I love Premier League and I love your show.
I appreciate that, my guy.
Yeah, man.
What's your
So
prediction?
the thing is that
Go
everybody
on.
has to forget who won the league games and all that stuff. This is the final. Everything's go out of the window, man. Everything goes out of the window. I think Manchester City are in more pressure, and Chelsea should take advantage of that. And I think Chelsea will win it. 1-0.
Oh, you think they will? 1-0. That'll be an interesting one. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
what makes you say that? Why do you think City will handle the pressure better?
They have. Well, Chelsea, they don't have pressure. Chelsea already won it. Tuchel is a very smart guy. Guardiola, when he comes to his first final, I mean, he won it. He didn't win it with Bayern Munich. He won it with Barcelona, but Barcelona is a different story. So Manchester City, first time in the final, the players will be very nervous. They will have to win it, and I think they will flop. That's what I think. I think Chelsea will go there really relaxed. They will play Tuchel's game, and I think they will win it.
That's an interesting prediction, my guy.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in and having your
Thank you,
say.
buddy.
Chelsea fans tuning in, do you agree? Get your comments in, get your super chats in as well. Next up on the show, we have Midu. Midu is a Man City fan. What are you saying, buddy?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, bro. What do you want to say?
Yes. Yes, I'm game of the final. So this is, this is the problem. Sometimes
Try calling back, bro. Really poor connection. Try calling us back. Centurion says Chelsea fans beat a sick Real Madrid side, beat Atletico when they were down, and beat our C team. Pep lost 1 out of 14 games. We are smoking Chelsea, is what Centurions have got to say. Thank you. There's someone here says, new to this channel, but absolutely love it. Well, it's rivals. It's rivals. You get the banter here. You get the mixture of fan views and opinions. We're on 1,500 people watching. We can get that easily to 2,000. Please share this right now on your Twitter feeds and encourage people to come. Put it into your WhatsApp groups, onto your Facebook timeline, and encourage your friends and your family, other Chelsea or City or neutrals that to come along and have their say. That would be amazing. Let's go to a call here we're going to go to Ryan. Ryan's on the line with us. Ryan's a Chelsea fan. What are you saying, mate?
Yo, what's up, Terry? I'm feeling nervous, extremely nervous, but very, very excited. I've only ever seen this happen to my team 3 times in my life. And every time you play these finals, the players always rise to the occasion. So I'm praying that these young guys, they can rise to the occasion and we can take it to City. Because I believe that we have City's number. I believe Tuchel can out-tactic, outsmart, whatever you want to call it, Pep. We've seen it time and time again already this season. And Pep, he always tends to overthink things. Tuchel, he's not going to do an ollie. If we're 1-0 down, say at 70 minutes, he's going to slap on everyone. He's going to put Ziyech on, he's going to put Havertz on, he's going to put everyone on, and we're going to go for it. So I'm feeling confident. And if it goes to pens, Chelsea are going to win it 100%. Man City's record, penalties this year, 63% conversion rate. That is so poor. So, yeah, I'm confident.
Ryan, do you know what I like? I'll give you so much credit. Whether people agree with your opinion or not, you've come on here with chest and you've backed your team. And I just like hearing that. So everyone sits on the fence too much nowadays. And I don't want to sound too confident. Well done, you, Ryan. Really appreciate that call. Top man. Thank you. Legend and Sweet here says tonight is going to be the Foden show. He's going to show you why he's there with the likes of Mbappe and Haaland. 2-1 to Man City. Do you know what, though? Look, Mbappe's got a World Cup winner's medal. There's an element of fortune in relation to where you're born. If Mbappe was the same player, but he was born in Venezuela, he wouldn't be a World Cup winner. So there's always fortune that depends where you're born and what country you play for to a degree. If Foden wins the Champions League and puts in a balling performance, it's fair to start talking about him on the levels of Mbappe's and Haaland and that echelon, Sancho's, that echelon of young, talented football players. Because at a young age, the amount of goals, the amount of assists, the amount of trophies, and the influence that he now has in these games, Phil Foden, is massive. Let's do some more calls here. We're going to go to Phantom of many topics. Who's definitely a Chelsea fan. I can see the tops. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, you
I
too.
just want to ask a question of everybody. How does the Tuchel Chelsea has beaten Man City twice this season? How are we the underdog? I mean, I understand that they're first in the Premier League and everything, that Manchester City is first in the Premier League, but heads up, we beat them. And just like, West Brom beats us, heads up, if I was betting on West Brom, I'd call them the favorites against Chelsea. I think we should be called the favorites against Man City. What do you all think?
Look, I wouldn't put you as the favourites because I do think they're a better, more well polished team, been together longer, manager and everything else. But do I think you can beat Man City? Of course you can. You've done it already twice. I think that your system hurts City. They haven't found a way to break it down and beat it. It frustrates them because of the limited space. And because they commit so many players forward, because of how wide your players are and how quickly they move the ball to your front men, they have the opportunity to counter. If the hold-up play today is good from your attacking and wide players, you will beat them. If you can feed the ball out from those defensive areas into your forward play, if they hold it up well and bring your sort of countering players into play, you've got an amazing chance and an amazing opportunity.
The final thing I'd like to say is that if we start Kovacic over Jorginho, I think we win. If we start Jorginho, I think we're in trouble.
There we go. Listen, Phantom, thanks for coming on and having
Thank you.
Really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. I'm going to do one more call, and then we're going to start the quiz. Then some more calls, and then we're going to start tiering those Champions League teams for you as well. We're going to go to Zion next, who's on the show. He's a Chelsea fan. What do you want to say, buddy?
Hey, right.
Yeah, I'm good. What do you want to say, my guy?
Just nervous, man. Just absolutely nervous for this game, and but also excited as well. Let's be real, because it's like how long it's been? 7 years since we got to this stage, and yeah, man, we deserve it. Let's be real, because we got past great clubs. Atletico, winners of La Liga. Real Madrid, who are basically the masters of this competition, and also Porto as well. So, from where we were in January to now where we are, it's a great step. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the game. Yeah,
absolutely. And are you confident? Like, are you confident that you can do it tonight? And what's your prediction, bro?
If we score first, I'm confident that we can probably keep a clean sheet, because I've got faith in our defense. So only if we score first, because if we go down 1-0, it'll be very hard to come back, because the City team we know how they are defensively as well. And but I'm predicting it's not going to be a very open game. It's going to be a very tactical game, like the most games have been so far with City this season. So I'd say probably like a 2-1 Chelsea. I'll even take a 1-0, to be honest. So anything to get us over the line, and at the end of it, us picking up that big trophy.
There we go. Listen, thank you very much, Zion, for coming out and having a say. Really appreciate it, bro. Take care. Thank you. It's interesting today because I think we know what Chelsea are going to do to beat City. But what do you all think? I want your opinions on this. What do you think City have got to do to beat Chelsea? And, of course, score more goals, before anyone puts in a stupid answer like that in the comments. But how do you think they're going to do it? Is it about all guns blazing, heavy metal, fast-paced football, or maybe being a bit more conservative, not committing as many players forward, trying to entice Chelsea out to leave a few holes here and there? What would your view be? How do they have to approach this? That's what I want to know. We're going to go to the quiz now. I mentioned earlier we're going to do this quiz today, and take a little look at this. We can't actually zoom. It's weird, right? If we zoom into 200, you can't see it properly, but we'll do it this way anyway, so everyone can see it. If I put this view on, you can see, oh, no, that's not good. Just do that one. And then I change the background. It looks a bit better that way. We'll do this quiz. We'll do it all together as we sit here. This is from Give Me Sports, so you can go check this out as well. Let's test my Champions League knowledge right now, people. My Champions League knowledge. So which team won the first Champions League title after it was rebranded? I know who that is, and that was Marseille. I know that for a fact. We won't get the answers till the end, by the way. What question is this going to be? Who managed AC Milan to their 4-0 win over Barcelona in 1994? Who did that? I don't know. So I'm going to guess Fabio Capello. It's going to be wrong, isn't it? It's going to be wrong. I don't know who it is. I'm guessing, pure guess. And I'm not leaving it there, because if I leave it there, you're all going to tell me the answers. Who scored Ajax's winning goal versus Milan? Patrick Kluivert. It was Patrick Kluivert, I think. I'm just going to go quickly because I don't want you guys giving me the answers, right? So I've got to go quick. Who scored Real Madrid's winner versus Juve in the 1998 Cup final? Raul. I'm going with Raul. No, it was Morientes. I think it was Morientes. No, I went too quick. I swear it was. Was it Morientes? I swear he scored in that game. In which stadium did Man United? I know where that is. It was in the Camp Nou. That was the easy one. It's Man United based. Which Englishman scored? Steve McManaman. I don't even. That's just as soon as I started reading that one, I knew the answer. Hang on there. Which player assisted Zidane's famous volley? Oh, it was Roberto. It must have been Roberto Carlos. It has to be Carlos. Who scored the winning penalty in the 2003 win? I don't. Shevchenko. It was Shevchenko. Right. Which manager led FC Porto to glory in the 2004? We know who that is. It's Jose Mourinho. That's an easy one, bro. Was it Frigo that got the assist? I'm seeing your comments now. I'm raging. Who was named man of the match in that final? It must have been Gerrard. Must have been man of the match, right? Steven Gerrard must have been the man of the match in that game. It must have been. Gerrard. I'm going with Gerrard. I'm not waiting for your comments to come in. Who scored Arsenal's goal? It was Sol Campbell. I know Sol Campbell scored in that final. That's an easy one. Who scored Liverpool's goal? Oh, who scored their goal when they lost the final? Was it Peter Crouch? Was it Peter? Oh, it was with. Oh, I'm seeing Alonso's name now. Shit, there, I got that one wrong then. Who got the goal? I don't remember who it was. You know, legit don't remember who it was. I know it wasn't Gerrard. I'm gonna go with Dirk Kuyt. Which player was sent off? That was Didier Drogba. That was an easy. If it's Man United, I'll get them because if my team was there, it's easy. Where did Barcelona beat Man United in that fight? It was in Rome, that final in 2009. Who scored both of Inter Milan's goals? That would have been it's Milito. I swear it was Milito that scored those goals. Who scored United's goal against Bayern? Easy. That was Wayne Rooney. Who managed? That was Roberto Di Matteo. Easy one. This is getting easy. It's getting easier because we're getting to now. Who scored the winning goal? Oh, do you know what? I swear it was Iron Robben. Iron Robben scored that one. Who was named the man of the match in the 2004 final? Must have been Gareth. Was it Bale or Ramos? Was it Bale or Ramos? I swear it was. I'm going to give it to Bale. Deserves it. Which player scored Liverpool's goals? Oh, this would be easy. Salah and Origi. I got 90%. Look at that. 90%. Let's see what I got wrong. Let's review my answers. Oh, it was him. I can't. Okay. It weren't Raul. I must have got one more wrong. No, that was it. I know. It was Di Maria that got the man of the match as well. Fair enough. But that's not bad, though. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with 90% on that. And I weren't thinking because if I thought too long, then I would see your answers. And if I saw your answers, then it's pointless. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit pointless. We're going to go now and get Cameron on. Of course, Cameron's a Man United fan. He's going to give us his thoughts on the final tonight. If you're new to the Football Terrace and you've only just subscribed, one, there have you been? Secondly, this is about rival chat as well as you talking about your own teams here. We actually had some super chats I missed during that quiz as well. One from Alfred who says, Centurion, your City C team had some great players in it, including your golden boy KDB and Sterling. Lee says, Pep, in my opinion, will overthink this game. He always seems to never go with what served him well. Watch Sterling start, Mendy as well. Cam's now with us. What you saying, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm quite happy with my Champions League knowledge there.
The best you've ever scored on a test, I bet.
You cheeky bastards. Definitely a written test. Yeah, I mean, what's your head saying about this final, bro? Where you at with it? Where you at?
I just want a good game. You know how I feel about Chelsea winning this year, so I don't want them to win. This is where my North American shows. Like I said in the chat, like not being from the UK, it's hard for me to consider. Like I now consider City a rival, but like it took a while. Like when I started watching, Arsenal and Liverpool were the main rivals, right? So I was like, when City started winning, it was just more like okay, they're spending money, they're buying their players, cool, no big deal. And then Chelsea started doing the same thing. So I was like, I actually used to like Chelsea because my good friend's a Chelsea fan, but because of the people on this channel, I can't. Like what people don't understand is like I talk to like Anita, Jam, and everybody. Like I talk to them every day. Like I see like I don't want to deal with it. Like past today, like that's it. And once they're out, once they lose today, then I'll shift my hate back to probably Liverpool or Arsenal next year. It's just I can't. They've just been so pompous this year. They've been so cocky. Like since the start of the year, it's been like we're gonna win everything. This, that, blah, blah, blah. And like I'm just over it. I'm over it. It's because of the fans. I don't want Chelsea to win. And I like Pep. I personally like Pep. Like how can you really not like Pep? He's actually a pretty likable person when you like watch how he interacts with people. He's funny. I like Pep. So if I'm going to pick a winner, I want City to win, but I don't really care, right?
Who do you think's going to win, though?
Who do I think is going to win? I think City's going to win. I just can't see a world where Pep bottles this one. I have to be honest. Like I think he's just the best manager in the world right now, right? And the team's the best team in the world. So just from logic standpoint, like if I was to bet serious money on this game, it would be on City. But I'm not going to do that because that would be like double pain, right? So it's just hope for a good game. Gundogan being out is probably a bit of a problem, but not really. Like they're so deep, it doesn't matter. Like when I saw him like probably not playing, I was like, okay, well, somebody else is going to step up. But we'll see. I mean, like if City, I'll be honest, if City does bottle this, then that's sad, right? That's pretty. It hits a point. It's actually a lot worse if City doesn't win this than if Chelsea. You know what I mean? Like from the team perspective, that's like if I was a City fan, that would hurt me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, look, City are the favourites, and there's a lot of pressure on them to deliver tonight. There's a lot of pressure on them to win. I don't think, even though a diehard City fan can't deny that they know they have to achieve and they have to deliver in this tournament. And who knows? I mean, they could be back in the final again this time next year, or it might be in 5, 6, 7 years' time. Who knows? And you have to seize these opportunities as and when they come along, because I guarantee you, and I'm not saying they're being run badly, so it may not happen, but if you went back to 2006 and said to Arsenal fans, not only are you never going to be in another final between now and say 2001, but actually between 2018 and 2001, you won't even be in the tournament. You would have got laughed at and called crazy by everybody. So from my point of view and from my perspective, I look at it very much as you have to strike while the iron is hot. And same for Chelsea. And I think for both teams, because we're English football fans, like we watch the Premier League as the predominant league from a football consumer point of view. There is almost this element of this, like you feel it for both sides, where if it was City versus, I don't know, Inter Milan, I don't know why I picked them, but it's like, I don't really care what the reaction is over there in Italy if they do or don't win it. I care about it from a Premier League point of view because we review and talk about the Premier League on a daily basis, but because they're both in the same boat, who knows when they could be back? Like this could be the best, like this last few weeks of FA Cup and Champions League finals could be the high point of Tuchel's reign. I'm not saying it will be, but it could be. And that's why you have to seize these opportunities when they arrive. You never know when you're going to be back.
It could be the high point for Pep too, man. Like this is the thing. Like I've been talking about this cycle of sport and cycle of big teams for a long time, right? And at some point, I get it. Like yes, they buy well, they have the money, they have a great manager, but at some point the dam does break, right? So we saw it a bit when they had that rough season, and obviously they came back strong. But if City doesn't win here, today, this could easily be it, right? Like, and this could be the start for Tuchel. Like, that's the thing. It could go both ways, or either team. That's a cool thing about football that I do like, is where there is a bit of, like, as much as it's a cycle between a lot of the same teams, it is a cycle. There is quite a bit of shuffle when it comes to, like, I mean, a few years back we had Tottenham and Liverpool there, right? And the same question could go if you were to ask a Tottenham fan or any fan 10 years ago, or 2006, Tottenham's going to be in the Champions League final in 2019, you would be laughed at. You'd be like, absolutely not. So I think Pep needs this more than Tuchel, because Tuchel will get more time because of what he's done since he's came in. Like, it's very easy to scapegoat the start of the season to failure by Lampard. So it's easy to give him more time. Whereas Pep, like, this is all he's been brought in to do. So he's got to win it. They're never going to get rid of him. It'd be stupid, but he's got to win it. And at the end of the day, like, somebody like Aguero and those guys, like, this is their only chance, right? Like, Fernandinho, I don't know if City will be back next year, because it is tough to get here. It's very tough to get here, right?
I think what you just said there, that's the one thing I would say. If I'm taking all rivalry aside, I would love Sergio Aguero to win it. And I mean that. I felt the same way about Buffon, Zlatan. There are certain players that are of football royalty, but they don't have champions. They don't have Champions League winners medals. R9 is another where I just want them to have it, so they've got it in that in the thing. Before we, I'd like to keep you backstage if you've got time today, bro, to do the tiering thing we're going to do soon. But before we
back, yeah,
lovely, bro. What's your prediction? Who's going to win?
I'm going 2-1 City. I do think Chelsea will score a goal. Because I think there's quality on both sides, and it'll be an open game. I think Chelsea will. The thing what's going to happen is I think City will score first, and then Chelsea will have to open up more. Tuchel's going to be safe. We know that. He's going to play it safe. He's going to be structured. But as soon as City score, he's going to change his tactics, because he is a good in-game manager. Like, I will not say anything bad about his in-game management, and he'll probably go for it at that point. He'll open up, probably score a goal, and then it'll be just a fun game. I hope. That's what I'm hoping. 2-1 City.
I hear that, bro. Listen, thank you very much. Put you backstage, top man. Igal's going to be on soon. Before we go to Igal, I'm going to pose this question to the next few callers. This is from Lee. So, Lee, you are going to go into the prize draw tonight to win a Premier League shirt of your choice. Great question. What do we think? Sorry, do we question Pep's job if he bottles tonight? That is a really, really big question. And it's the only question we've been asked so far. So you're definitely going into the prize draw. I want to ask that question to our viewers and our callers. First up, we're going to go with Chelsea fan here. Dag is going to be on the line with us here. What are you saying, buddy?
What's going on, Terry? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very good. How are you feeling about tonight's game?
Well, confidence is nowhere to be seen, but it's a matter of complacency tonight. It's a matter of which players want it more, and the only thing that's really not giving me confidence is our age, to be honest. Not in a sense of we're not as experienced as we should be, but I feel like we could be complacent in a sense where, oh, look, we're 22. Most of our star players are in the early 20s, and we're already at a Champions League final, right? So the odds on, or, the chances of us coming here again could be high, right? So I just don't want that thought to be creeping into the team, because as we've seen with a lot of really good teams, they just can't make it past the semifinals. They can't make it past the quarterfinals. And one example is this Man City team. So for tonight, I don't know what needs to be said in the dressing room, what needs to be done in the training right before the game. But I really do pray and hope that these players understand that this is not an opportunity you're going to get, right? Like every year, every 2 years, this is not a Real Madrid, right?
You may only ever be in one or two of these in your whole career. So, seize it, grasp that opportunity. Question here from Lee. Do you think we should question Pep's job or legacy or whatever it may be if he bottles tonight?
That's the thing with Pep, right? There's every single time he loses, there's only two explanations. He overthinks it, or it was a tactical, like a mistake, or the players just did not perform. So it fully depends on which one of those it happens. Again, this is if they lose, right? Which is, if you look at the betting the betting scores, doesn't seem like they will, but in a sense, it's fully what happens on the pitch tonight. if it seems like he set up the team in, like, you know how Pep is, right? We know the attacking powers that he has. And if he decides, okay, we're going to match up defensively like Chelsea are doing so that we can counter their problems, right? And if that leads them to conceding early and then not being able to create enough chances, then yes, I would say, yeah, it's possible that he could be sacked. But if he sets them up in their 4-3-3 like he wants them to do, and they're playing, you know, or like they want to be, like, you know, he's using every player's strengths, every you know, taking into account every player's weaknesses, then I mean, you can't fire him. I mean, it's not like he's doing anything wrong.
There we go. Listen, bro, thank you very much for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that. Top guy. We'll speak to you at full time, no doubt about it. Next up with us, we're going to get Gal's coming on really, really soon, but we're going to go to Christian. Christian Jonathan is here with us now. Who do you support, buddy?
Yeah, man, Terry.
How you doing? Who do you support, my guy?
I support Liverpool, actually.
Who?
Liverpool.
Lovely, lovely. What have you phoned up to say, my guy?
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to the stream, and for me, as a neutral, I would love to see an interesting final. And but with regard to your question, like, do we think Pep is a bottler if he loses tonight? I don't think so. And I actually think that even though Tuchel is gonna try to eliminate some of the tactics that Pep would try to come up against him, at the end of the day, I still think that Man City are gonna win tonight.
There we go. There we go. Christian, thank you very much for your call, bro. Really appreciate that. Top man. Thank you. We did have Jessica backstage. We'll get Jessica back on. Jessica will be back with us really soon. But Igao is now here. Igao, what you saying, my guy?
I'm chilling, man. You see by the color I'm wearing, I think this is at least a Man City blue. But yeah, I'm rooting for Man City to win this game. I'm hoping Man City do it. And you know what, Terry? I said something that got the Chelsea fans got a little bit angry about this. I think Man City deserve this more. I get it. At the end of the day, the team that wins deserves it. But Man City have grafted and worked hard for years to get to this point. It's almost like Chelsea, it fallen on their lap with the draw that they got and how they found a good form at the right time and they just got there. But Man City have worked hard. This is what they've been working for the past decade to try to get there, from the days of Company and Yaya Toure and these guys to now where they are today. And I feel like if Man City win it, it would be the icing on the cake. And no one can say they're not the best team in Europe. But if Chelsea win it, you could say that at the back of your mind, you know what? They found the right form. It's a cup competition. With a little bit of luck, they won it. But for Man City, if they won it, I would feel like they would deserve it a little bit more than Chelsea.
I understand your views. Chelsea fans in the comment section, do you agree? Do you agree? What's your thought on Pep's as well? There's a super chat there from Lee that says, should we question Pep's job or maybe question his legacy if he doesn't win this tournament with City?
I think you have to listen to what he said in the pre-match interview and listen to the skepticism and what people were saying to him. They asked him directly, what do you think about winning the Champions League and was this a goal for you? And he said, you know what, Manchester City, it wasn't a goal for me. At Manchester United, it's a goal. At Barcelona, it's a goal. At all these other big clubs, Bayern Munich, it's a goal. But at Man City, it's almost like it would just be another plus. The main priority is to be dominant in the league, and I feel like that's what is being said to him from board level down. And I don't think it would be a failure for him. But then you also look at what Kevin De Bruyne said. Kevin De Bruyne came out straight up and said the season would be a failure if we lose. Yeah. So I'm hearing mixed signals. I think no matter what, you can't consider him a bottler if he loses.
No, I think you're right. It's not a bottler, but I do believe he was bought in. And this super chat here says, Terry, you should know that Pep wasn't bought in to win the Champions League. Pep was bought in to transform the club. So again, I think we're getting caught in semantics. So did they say the words to him, you're here to win the Champions League directly? No. Did they say we want you to make us the biggest team in Europe? yes, that means you've got to win the Champions League, right? You have to do that. I think what Pep's done, by the way, though, even if they don't win the league, it's still a successful job because the domestic success, the foundation that's been it was already built. The foundation was there, but what he has built and what they've got to move on from after Pep is huge. But there will be an element of failure or disappointment if they don't win it. Malik. Sorry, go on, mate. Go on.
Let me say this. Manchester City lose this final, it will hurt them more than Chelsea if they lose the final. Because I know Chelsea have gotten to the final and they've already won a Champions League. If Man City lose this and they don't get a Champions League on their bracket, it's going to hurt them more than Chelsea possibly winning their second. Let's just be real. One team is going to be affected more by this than the other.
I do hear you on that. Malik here says, Terry, why do you all think Pep can't give Chelsea the ball and tell them to try and break them down like the PSG second leg? I bet you City 3-0. What's interesting is I was alluding to that earlier and I was waiting for a viewer to say it. You know, will Pep Guardiola change I think to beat Tuchel, City can't play the stereotypical City way. They almost have to relinquish some possession, not commit as many players forward to almost get Chelsea second guessing their tactics because I think they're built to handle them in that way. But great super chat there. We had another one that came through, so I want to make sure I miss you. We can go to the tiering soon. Chelsea fans emotionally prepared. Are Chelsea fans emotionally prepared for a loss? What's your take on that, Igal? Like, we know a lot of Chelsea fans, especially in the football terrace community. Do you think they're prepared to lose emotionally?
I think they are, because I've heard a lot of Chelsea fans saying almost like it's a free hit, preparing themselves for the loss, where they're saying, "Oh, Thomas Tuchel's under no pressure. Regardless, he's done a decent job getting us to a final." They're almost celebrating the Champions League final like winning it is not even an option for them. If they do win it, they're going to say, you know what, amazing season, one of our best seasons ever. If they lose it, they're still going to say, you know what, we got to a Champions League final, so you can't talk to us. I've heard people say, if we lose, you can't banter me because we weren't the favorites in the first place. So to me, they're preparing for the worst. They're almost clutching before they're about to get hit, like a boxer or something.
I hear you on that. We're going to bring in some more of the normal panel from the terrace in just a few moments' time. We're going to start tiering now. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tiering from best to worst, Champions League winners since 1993. We're going to keep talking about the game. We're going to keep building up to the game. Biggest final of the season. It's another all-English affair. It's going to be amazing. I want your score predictions, though. I want your score predictions right now in the live comments section while we're getting everything else set up and ready to go. Who is going to win in normal time, extra time? Will it be penalties? I want to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Do me a big favor as well. Make sure you're sharing the stream on your social media platforms. You're hitting the like button. And when you've subscribed, you're clicking the little bell notification because we're going to be live straight after the game as well. Tonight could be the record-breaking night for the Terrace, and I need you all here for that as well. Look at these score predictions. 10-0 Chelsea. Come on, bro. 4-1 City. 3-1 Chelsea. Imagine a 4-2 in either direction. What a game. What a game. We have a super chat here. It says, Terry, how come this final has no hype whatsoever? Why is that? I bet the ratings are going to be bad. I don't think it's about hype. I actually agree with what Igal was saying to a large extent a few moments ago. I get this feeling that social media has done it this year. This year for social media growth within football has been gargantuan. The big boys have already been there. AFTV, Redmen, United Stand. Everyone knows these guys. Full-time Devils. They've been there. Everyone's done it this year. Social media has taken over football like to levels I have never seen. But it's made a lot of people scared to say, we are going to win. If 90% of Chelsea fans were like, we are going to win. 90% of City fans are, we are going to win. It builds the hype up. Everybody's like, oh, I don't really care if we do or don't win. It's fine. We're happy to be here. Everyone's playing bridesmaid right now. Everyone's playing bridesmaid. So it's playing it down. What it needs is more fans to stand up and say, we will. And I'm prepared to take the shots if we lose. That's why I think the hype's a little down. It isn't, by the way, every fan base is doing the same. Man United didn't have that luxury in our little final recently because we had to win. We're the best. Like we had no choice and we got battered. Thank you, Chelsea Power, for becoming an official academy member of the Footy Terrace. All right, we've got a big panel tonight. I don't care how big this is. We've got Man Like a Gal who's already in, right? We've got Man Like a Gal that's here. KJ's here. We've got Tom that's here. We've got Cam that's here. We've got one of my most favorite Americans in the world. It's Jess in the house. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Do you know what? I'm going to throw a few more in for a bubble. I'm going to throw Rack in here as well and have you say, I know there's more of you waiting backstage to come on. Stay with us because we're going to be tiering and ranking and having a little bit of fun here. But before we do that, KJ, quickly, who's winning tonight?
Definitely not football because, you know, oil money, KGB, Russian mafia and that. Flipping out. I hate this so much. I think Man City will do it. If I could, I'd make both teams lose and get disqualified like I would, but I can't. So, yeah, I think Man City will win it. Either way, I'm in pain if Chelsea or Man City win.
I do hear you on that completely. Tom, I had to meet Tom. I know you've got a window open in your room, haven't you?
Yeah, let me sort that out now.
That's all right, mate. If it's, I was sitting there, I was like, I could hear something. And everyone knows I've got a phobia not a phobia. I get annoyed at loud noises, which is just true. How are you, Jess?
I'm good. I get to just enjoy today. It doesn't have anything to do with us at all. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this. So.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same, really. I know I'm not going to feel full time how I did the other night, and which is great. And who are you predicting to win, Jess?
Honestly, I think Chelsea's been so good in this competition, and because it seems like Man City's just going to go ahead and win the game, I actually think Chelsea might win it, not because I want them to, but because that's just how it goes. You know, sometimes it's the team that you don't really expect that's going to win is actually going to win it. So I'm going to go with Chelsea, but not because they're better, but because they're probably just going to do something dodgy, get a pen or something like that.
Can you imagine? Oh, it's going to be amazing. And Rack, how about yourself, mate? Obviously, you've been here a lot. You're a Liverpool fan. You've won it 6 times. You've lost it a few times. What are you saying?
Liverpool, we've got a bit of a rival with both of these teams. But I don't mind Man City that much. I actively dislike Chelsea. So, yeah, I'm hoping City win. But, yeah, it's not going to feel great either way.
I hear you. I do hear you on that, and I'm just trying to block that part out of my brain. But good luck, Chelsea. Good luck, City. We're going a little bit of fun now, though, because it's a lot of serious talk in the build up to this. And what we've got here is all 13 clubs who have won the Champions League since the 1992-93 season. You will notice there is one big omission from here. One particular club who hasn't won it in this time period. So you won't see their badge on here at all. But I just thought we'd just highlight that in case anyone goes, where's Arsenal? They haven't won it in that time period. I'm sorry to say, nor have Tottenham, to be fair, either. So let's start ranking this now. It's going to be a little bit of fun. We'll go from beginning to end, and we'll do a few little humdingers in between here. Where would you rank... Oh, yeah, Barcelona are not in there, which is very, very weird. I'll add them in a moment. Where would you rank KJ in this time period? Porto.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll put them in very good because the way they won it, no one expected them to do that, and just for that. You got to start off Jose Mourinho, the start of his career and how that went. It was a very good campaign. So you talking about the campaign or the team or like what are we trying to judge on here?
Yes, I mean, again, I don't necessarily think we need to prescribe it too much. It's ranking, in your opinion, from GOATs. So when you look at them as a club in that time period, so it isn't just what they won, but over the course of the last. Since 1992 until now, these are all the winners. We're ranking them as a club in that time period.
Oh, as a club?
Yeah, because obviously AC Milan and Liverpool won it twice. So it's like
you got to put them in average, innit? If you're doing it as a club, because they've fallen off to the wayside. But if you're talking about like one single campaign, I would say very good for them in the Champions League. But yeah, as a club, average.
I hear you on that. Next, I'm going to go to Igal. Igal, I'm going to give you a lovely one. Chelsea Football Club. You're on mute, my guy. Where would you rank?
History hasn't been finished with Chelsea's because they could still win it today. They've won one Champions League. They've been knocked out in the final once. Are we including everything that they've done or just the one title?
It's everything from 1992 until now.
Can I see the list?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just adding Barcelona in.
I honestly, I need to see the list. 1 second when you're done.
Yeah, I'll get it up because I thought I'd be able to do my little bit of admin here while you were reviewing that, but I'm saving this file and it isn't working and it's starting to annoy me. Bear with me 30 seconds as I get this all updated and then I get it all back up on the screen and Barca.
Because I'm looking Barcelona, Liverpool, Bayern Munich. You got to think about how many times they've won it in comparison to Chelsea, and then even AC Milan, even Milan, they won it 3 times in that time period, or is it 4 times? You got Real Madrid who've won it. Wow, like 5 times in 98, 2000, 2002.
So where would you rank Chelsea then?
I'm gonna have to rank Chelsea in average because they are not one. They are still more than 1-1. Remember, because obviously they're in our face every single day. But I would say average because they've won 1 out of that whole time. And we're talking about the greats of the greats, so don't compare it to Arsenal, obviously.
Listen, that's where they've been put for now. We'll see how other people are comparing that in a few moments. Remember, you can get your super chats in if you want to change things around. Mr. Tom Little, I'm coming to you next. I'm giving you Borussia Dortmund.
For the Champions League win, I don't remember it because obviously I weren't born, but I don't know how many other people remember it. It's not something I see talked about often. They've lost the final.
I remember it a bit.
I know that they had Paul Lambert in the team. I don't really see it being talked about that much in a sense. It's between average and no one remembers, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and I'll put them in average.
No, don't give them.
They've won it 3 times, mate.
In this time, since 92.
No, they haven't won it.
No,
They've won it once.
They won it once since 1993.
No one remembers, and I say this because
no one remembers.
Since they won it, they've turned into this selling club too, right? Their ambitions are gone. No one remembers it. Nobody cares about. Like all they are is a selling club at this stage.
Yeah,
I'm not salty when it comes to Dortmund. To be
their
completely
victory in the final was huge at the time because they beat Juve. I think they beat Juve 3-1. So and Juve were a powerhouse then, but.
Do you know what's interesting about it though? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Borussia Dortmund. And I get in Germany, it may be spoken about a lot, but we don't know what's said in Germany because we're not over there watching their TV. We can only go about how it's presented to us. The Porto win is rammed down our throats all the time. You get Inter's treble where they were not favored. No one predicted them doing it. They're all Borussia Dortmund, one of the best teams in Europe then, and no one talks about it. It's because they've fallen so fast. I don't think no one remembers would be fair. And the fact these kids don't remember. Chelsea have the most Champions League semi-final caps amongst the Premier League clubs with 8, United 7, tied with Juve is what Lamar.
Only 1 Champions League though, so.
I would say about Dortmund.
One sec. If you are super chatting, you know the rules. £5 to move someone up and down a section, £20 anywhere you want. You can create tiers for more than that. So if you put a super chat in and you want someone moved, please state that in your super chat so we can do it as well. So I understand what you're doing as well, just for you. Sorry, go on, Rack.
I would say that obviously they only won it that one time against Juve. There was a bit of a resurgence under Klopp. They got to the final again. They had some famous wins against. I think they knocked Madrid out, and that's obviously when Klopp came to prominence. Yeah, no one remembers the actual win because it was a long time ago, and not many players who were playing at that time were, I guess, big names or widely known now. So
no one remembers it because it was in 90. It was in 97. Let's be honest.
But in terms of a club as well, they've only won the league twice that I can remember in that time. So, like as the entire club from that, they are them kind of guys, isn't it? So.
I think that's fair. Let's move forward. We're going to go to Cameron. Cameron, I'm going to give you Inter Milan.
The treble is cool, and I love that. That's the Mourinho I like. I'd probably say average still, though. I'd still say average. because the reason why is they've lost. Like when I look at Italy, like I put AC above them because AC had way more of a pedigree for a long time, and then you look at what Juve's done recently. Like they've dominated the league, right? And Inter's just won it this year. So it's like it's just because still I put them in average because they didn't even make the tournament this year too, right? They didn't do well. Like average. Average.
What is that?
That's
Someone hoovering the yard or something.
It's like, wow. I was like, what's going on? First person I looked at was Tom. I was like, what's he doing, bro? I'm only messing. So next up on the list, we're going to go to Jess. Jess, I'm going to give you
Manchester
Barcelona.
United.
No, I'm not giving you my club. I'm not.
Jess,
I've abandoned you. I'm not silly. I'm going to give you Barcelona.
Well, I mean, what? They've won it 3 times in the time period that we're talking about, right?
No, 5 times.
5 times in the time period?
Since 92, they've won it 5 times.
They've won it 5 times since 92?
92.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
No. Wait. It's the 92-93 season when it becomes the Champions League. So the year before that, it was still the European Cup. So the 92 doesn't count.
Okay,
so
so 4 times.
So they've won it 4 times.
Yeah, so I would say they've only been really crap in that competition maybe the last 2 or 3 years, maybe last 2 years. They just haven't really been able to do anything. Still an elite level club, in my opinion. They're still good in their league. You know, they're an iconic club that you can't put them any lower than, I mean, can we put them in the one right below the GOAT one? Can we put them in the one just right below that?
I think putting them in almost perfect is fine for now. I think when we get to the end, I think we might jig things around as a group. As you say, they've been consistent in this tournament since for nearly 20 years now.
Yeah.
How many goats? Is it just one goat or is it?
There's an S there, so we can have 2 if we want to. But I think putting them there for now is absolutely fair, I think. Rack, I'm coming to you next, and I'm going to give you Ajax.
Wow. Ajax, I think they've only had 1 win in this time because I think they've got 4 Champions Leagues in total, but they won 3 in a row, like in the 70s or something. But that Ajax team was incredible, man. You had like Kluivert, Seedorf, Davids, all these kind of like iconic, great players, and they beat Milan, who were a powerhouse in Europe at the time. I think it was 1-0. Kluivert scored. Obviously, they haven't reached those heights again because that was a generational team. How many people remember it now? I'm not sure, but the Dutch league, you know, it's not a strong league outside of Ajax. So I wouldn't say necessarily no one remembers because everything about Ajax is iconic, even down to the kit, you know. But I would have them the one above. No one remembers.
So in average in that time period, which is fair. I'm going to go next. I'm going to give myself a very, very easy one. I'm going to give myself Marseille.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they won.
They won it in 1993. They won it in 1993. So then
they had a decent team. They had like Waddle, Basil Bowley, and
it was good back then.
It
was good back then. I mean, they were in the final in 1991 as well. But since then, they've done nothing of any sort. It's a very easy one, a cop-out one for me, there's no doubt. Back to KJ. Now we're getting into the big boys here. KJ, where are you placing Liverpool Football Club?
Liverpool Football Club?
Yep.
Since 1992, yeah?
Since 1990, well, to say 93 was when it won.
93. You see, So in the Champions League, it's been good for them. Obviously, they've got 2, yeah? But then if you take their league, if you take their league position in there too, that's not so good. Man. They're a big club, but they went so many years without a trophy in it. So that just knocks them down. They would be very good, but they have to be average in that time period.
They've won 2 of them.
But you talk about, but what are we freaking putting?
We're ranking Champions League goats in that time period.
But you said you've taken into consideration their league stuff as well.
When did I say that?
You said as a club.
No, as a club in the Champions League in
the
last
League,
4 years.
Very good then. Flipping hell, man. Like shifting the thing, fam. Like either or, fam.
You gotta love.
No, I mean not really. Not really. What is it? I watched a Deontay Wilder interview today. He says I don't need to explain what is already known. That's what he said.
We talk about Champions League, yeah, and that's the overriding majority. Then yeah, they're very good.
Listen, when it comes to Man United, I'm mentioning their League Cups in this because we're talking Champions League. So mention them League Cups as well, bro.
Yeah, they're very good. That's fair.
Very good. Would you agree with that, Tom?
No. I'd say we had the most memorable final in that time. Most memorable final, arguably, of all time. We've had a number of great runs in there.
Most
You know,
memorable
we're one of the we're one of the most, I'd say, almost perfect. We've lost a final in that time. That's what knocks you down.
How many finals did you make in that time period?
We made 3 finals. And
No, 4. We played Milan twice, and we played Madrid
as well. Yeah,
we made 4 and 1-2. That's a good record, to be fair. I'll leave them there for now. We'll probably move them around.
Let's leave them there for now, and then we'll see. And then we'll see how things move forward. I'm going to go to Igal next. Igal, I'm going to give you AC Milan.
Okay, so if we're going based off that, you got to also look at AC Milan have won it. What is that? 3 times they've been to 3 finals. They have to go up there. But the fact that we're going Barcelona is almost perfect, I would have to put them a notch down and just put them level with Liverpool and say, you know what, very good. Because there's been times where they weren't in the Champions League also, and they had their golden moments, they've had their downs, but I would say very good. And I don't think anyone can dispute that.
And that's a fair point, which it touches on league form. If you might have won it 3 times, say, but if you spend 10 years in the last 20 out of it, that must impact you compared to a team in that time that's been competing and doing well in it. Like I think it does, because every year you create memorable moments. I think that's pretty fair.
You've got to respect that.
You know, of course, their pedigree is amazing. But when was the last time they were even in the tournament, AC Milan?
It's like 10 years ago or something like that. Very long time.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize it had been so long. Tom, I'm coming to you next, and I'm going to give you Manchester United.
You got the 1999 final, one of the most memorable of all time. You've got 2008 versus Chelsea, but you also got them 2 losses in 2 years to Barca, and the 2011 one you were schooled by Pep, which was really bad at the time, like how well they played. So I'm gonna have to put you in very good alongside those in AC Milan. It's not a bad category.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just because you've won 2.
If I've put them in there for the same kind of reasoning, then cool, innit? That's calm. That's calm.
But I think, do you know what? I think we haven't got to Bayern Munich, and we put AC Milan in there. You think of like there's some teams to come where I love my club, Man United, but we can't. Certain teams that are still have to come out of attack. You can't even think about putting this in front of them. Do you know what I mean? It just becomes nonsensical, and there's a reason for doing this later. Make a bit more sense. Cam, I'm coming to you next, bro, and I'm giving you Bayern Munchen.
Sorry, can you still hear that noise? I hope not. I put my headphones in. So this one's weird for me. I want to put them in GOATs alongside of Real, because I know Real's going to be a GOAT. And the reason I want to do that is because I think they would have won it if I think they would have been potentially in this final this year if Lewandowski didn't get hurt. I think that was like a very, very big thing that people don't recognize made a difference this year. And they've made it to 4 in that time frame. They've won 2, made it to 4 Champions League. Am I correct?
6.
6.
They've won 3.
And they've never not been in the Champions League from what I remember. Like they just win their league all the time. I'll put them in GOATs. They're just consistently, like, every year going into the Champions League since I've watched football, Bayern Munich has been a team that you would come in saying are one of the favorites. Not like they might, like I've always felt they could win it. Like especially in the last 5 years, I've been like, this team can win it every year. Because their team's just that good. So I put them in GOATs.
That's an interesting one with Real Madrid still to come out. I'm going to go to Jess next, and Jess, I'm going to give you Juve.
Actually, my bad. No, you know what? Put him in almost perfect. My bad. Put him in almost perfect. Sorry.
Because Juve's badge.
Just because they lost to Chelsea and Manchester United, they should go down one.
Yeah, because Juve's badge is black, you couldn't even see it when it was down there.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, it is here. It's horrible. You can't really see it. But
why did they change their badge, man? Like,
it looks awful, doesn't it? It honestly looks awful. It looks like something you see in the highway code. Do you know what I mean? Like a road sign. When you put it up like that. Where would you put them, Jess?
I don't know. They haven't really won it. They've only won it like one time in the time period that we're talking about.
Yep.
I mean, they seem so bad in this competition. Am I wrong? You know.
Do you know what's interesting?
That harsh?
Jess, you know what they won it in, I think it was 96, and then I know that they then made the final 2 more years after that. They were brilliant in the 90s, but they only won it once. And I think they lost 3 finals in the first 10 years of the Champions League as it was, and they've lost 2 more. Have they lost 2 more since?
That's
2 more since?
5 L's.
Juve's problem, and this happens. This is more a thing in North American sports, as you know. Like when Jordan stopped so many greats from winning, Juve ran into Real Madrid. Like that's the unfortunate part. They ran into the team that nobody could beat. No, like exactly.
One second, everyone. 1 second. There's something going on here. I need to see.
Yeah.
What is this?
Special treat. Special treat.
Prime.
That's prime. Yeah, that's prime. Look at
him.
Look at Prime. Look at that. Prime. I've never seen Prime out of a room. Lens is there. Nice, boys. You boys, how are you all feeling ahead of the game? How are you feeling? Yeah, good. How are you all feeling ahead of the game?
Confident, man. We're Chelsea. We're Chelsea.
You are, but you look like the most dysfunctional boy band.
Hey, it's Lambs.
Oh my God, where's the full Terrace? Yes! I'm not even in the mood yet. Yeah, we're in the mood. We're going to the pub at quarter past, another couple of drinks, getting ready for the game. So yeah, man, we're excited. We're excited.
Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are. Do you think you're going to win? Are you confident that you're going to win?
Ooh. Anyone want? Yeah.
We're not like Arsenal or Spurs. It's not a free hit.
That's silence.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm scared. No, we got this. There you go. You're done the stink, bro. You're done the stink, bro. Get out of it. Know your place, bro.
Listen, go and enjoy your drink. Go and enjoy your drinks, people. Do you know what's mad about that, right? I feel like a proud father. I feel like if it weren't for the Terrace, like none of these people would know each other, and everyone's out drinking, watching games together. It's mad.
That's the only thing I like seeing.
Socializing with people in real life and drinking. Oh, I feel so proud of him.
No, I do as well. I feel like he's a duck that we've let out into the wild. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we found him as a pup. Ducks aren't pups, by the way, but I don't know what they're called when they're little.
Remember what we said earlier? They're not confident.
Ducklings.
You hear that silence? They're not confident.
No, they are confident. They just don't want to say it on camera. Like
it's there now.
Yeah, because everyone knows what's coming. But that's quality. Right. And just so that the Football Terrace viewers know, all through next season, you're going to see a lot more of that. Just watch this space. Leveling up is all I'm going to say here. So yeah, on Juve, back to what we were doing on Juve. Do you know what? I've got to put this out there. I've got to say it. I feel it's disrespectful to AC Milan, Man United, and Liverpool to put them on par, even though they've been to lots of finals. Because those clubs have won it.
I think it's disrespectful to put them on par with Chelsea. Drop them and not memorable.
Nah, you can't do that.
Oh, come on.
Hear me out. If you lose 5 finals, how dare you try to put yourself in the same bracket as these other teams? You've been to 6 finals, lost 5. That even
in that same amount of time, how many of those teams have been there in the same amount besides the teams that are clearly better than like the Bayern Munichs, the Barcelonas, and the Real Madrids? Like Man United, Chelsea already been there how many times? Like a couple of 2.
Chelsea been there 3 times now.
Well, I think it's 2, 3, Liverpool 4. Like teams, it's hard to get there in the first place.
No, but we have to be hard. We cannot be nice to them just because they're
been unlucky though. Juve have faced 3, like in a sense, dynasties. You know, they got a Real Madrid side that was the best we've ever seen in the Champions League in terms of longevity. They got an AC Milan side at the start of their greatness.
If this was an English team that lost 5, we would put them straight at the bottom.
Yeah, look, I used to live in Turin. I know loads of Juve fans. They've seriously underperformed in Europe, like compared to their domestic dominance. At the time when Milan, who historically are a much smaller club than Juve in Italy anyway, they've got 7 Champions Leagues, and Juve have 2. They beat us in one in Heysel, obviously, and they won more. And yeah, that's just not really enough for a team that's the big. Juve is by far the biggest team in Italy, so they should be doing better.
Apparently, the other team's bigger than them, but that's maybe people lying to me online.
I think average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just got to be average. I mean, because
Based on
all
expectations.
all the teams in average have won it once, and there almost like needs to be a section in between, maybe because I've been in so many finals. But do you know what I mean? It is what it is.
And to be fair, they were in that iconic semi-final against United when in '99 when United won one. Yeah, no, exactly. It's just
where
like
KJ's favorite player had one of the greatest central midfield performances in the history of Europe.
We love to see it, bro. When he doesn't open his mouth about United now, I
was watching that with Juve fans. I was watching that with Juve fans. They were not.
Do you know what's crazy about like the older generation? With the way I watched it was a bit of footage really rather than the game, and it was with Beckham and Neville and Sir Alex talking, and maybe this was done in like 02, 03. It was only 2 or 3 years after the final. And they were talking about how great a final performance it was. And then I was thinking about how young fans today don't like Kino because he's very brash and direct with what he says. And I'm like, I can't wait, because I'm of that generation where I played them. I can't wait for Paul Pogba to be a pundit and to be really harsh about the new generation, and all the kids to be like, Paul Pogba, hush your gums, you're a dickhead. And the likes of KJ to be like, oh my God, how are you disrespecting my legend?
No.
I'm going to sit here as an old man and be like, whoa.
To be fair, if my son ever grew up like that, I'll be like, you know what? Fair play to your son. Fight the power. You know what I'm saying? Go against the oldies and that.
No, you won't. I thought that when I was younger. And I'm like, I ain't never going to be like my dad and like the older generation. And as you get older, you do, bruv. Do you know what I mean? I've had a fight before in recent years over a wheelie bin. Somebody was putting their rubbish in my wheelie bin. I got into a fight.
Terry, you're a different breed, bro. I think everyone else here on this panel would not fight over a wheelie bin.
No, you have to pay. You have to pay to have your... You have to pay. You have to pay to have your garden.
I'd fight over something like that too.
Explain it. You have to pay to have your garden recycling taken away. But next door were putting theirs in mine. It was costing me money every time I got picked up, and I won't put it in. So it was costing me 50 quid a month for them using my bin. So I headbutted the guy. I think that's fair, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Okay, sorry. What is with British people and headbutting, man? That is like, you guys love that shit. You love it.
So weird.
Like, it's such a different way of fighting. Like,
oh yeah.
Terry, let's be real. By the way, it's just a joke, everyone. You know, people are like, oh, I can't believe it. It's a joke. Calm your roll.
Nah, but you guys do headbutt. I've
tried it once, right? I tried it once, and it hurt so bad, and I never did it again. And I had like a hole in my head, and a bit of blood. I was like, oh yeah, this is my brother as well.
I did it once too. I've done it once.
Terry, I bet you did it forehead to forehead. You know the man that try headbutt and they just go right for the center of the forehead.
My brother, I nutted his head, and then I remember one of my coaches was like, no, you're meant to nut their nose. And I'm like, oh right. I hit his head and it hurt so bad. Yeah, I never did that again. Let's move on to the final one here, and we're gonna give this one to Rack to place. Real Madrid.
Yeah. So, for me, it has to be Barcelona and Madrid as GOATs, but obviously Madrid have to go into GOATs because they've won it so many times.
7.
I mean, why? I mean, they've won it 1, 2, 3,
7.
7. They've won it 7 times. Barcelona won it 4.
7. They haven't lost.
Yeah, they've won every final they've been in. I don't think you can put Barcelona in the same category as Real
Yeah,
Madrid.
no one can touch them.
And they won
3 on the bounce.
3 on the bounce.
The only reason I'd say Barca is because, for me, 2 of those Barcelona teams, or certainly one of those Barcelona teams, is the best team in history. And Messi is, for me, he's the GOAT. That Pep Barcelona team plays some of the best football I've ever seen in my life. Anybody who loves football can't deny it. For me, that was an iconic. Like, don't get me wrong, Zidane's team won 3 Champions Leagues in a row, which is an incredible achievement.
Let me ask you a question though, Rack. Let me ask you a question. What would you rather? Win it, say twice, and that team be regarded as the greatest footballing team ever, or win it 3 times on the bounce? To have 3 of them.
Oh no. In terms of achievement, sure.
3 times on the bounce every time
in terms
for
of,
any sport.
Absolutely. Winning the trophy more times is, of course,
They've won it almost double. They've won it almost double the amount of times. Like that's why, as great as that Barca team was, I honestly, when I look at this list, I feel that it is too disrespectful to put anybody else on par with Real Madrid in the last 20 years.
From the moment you have an 100% record in the Champions League final, no one's touching you. I'm sorry, no one's touching you.
Facts.
And it's the reason why, like, this is why all of our clubs dread when we hear Real Madrid's looking at any one of our players, right? There's nothing you can say. There's certain brands in sport that just supersede everything. You have the Lakers, you have Real Madrid, you have these teams that just like they supersede the sport. Like everybody, you can't hate on them as much as you would like to. You cannot. You have to respect them.
Yes,
like,
and I think that's part of the reason I wanted to do what I did tonight, because you look at that list. Man City are not in there because they haven't won it. Arsenal not in there. I mean, I'm not trying to throw smoke here because they haven't won it. Chelsea is sitting there in average, and maybe I could use a different word to average, but we're comparing that against winners. So we're not comparing it against all teams that have been in the Champions League because it'd be much higher. Like if that makes it's comparing the winners. That's why tonight's so important for the Man Cities and massively for Chelsea, because it's about long-term legacy. And when I look at like tonight as an example for Chelsea, they win tonight. And they move on par with in the last 20 years with the Liverpools and the Man Uniteds and the AC Milans, and then the next target is to move up here. That's when you start talking about genuine football royalty. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to Chelsea that are currently sitting down here where we've placed them, but they're 90 minutes away and a victory away from starting to legitimately not forget fan base size for a moment, forget commercial deals, sponsors, the players you sign. In terms of trophies won and the size of the trophies and the prestige that comes with them, Chelsea are one win away from starting to rub shoulders with the very best teams that Europe has to offer. Would you not agree? Or
No.
Why?
Because when you look at it, could you go back to the list, please? Just so I can add on to my point. Manchester United have won it how many times? 3 times. AC Milan have won it how many times? What was it? 4? Was it 3 or 4 or 2?
AC Milan have won it 7
Then
times.
you got Liverpool
AC
who won
Milan
it
the second
6
most
times.
successful team in Europe in the European Cup or Champions League.
Okay,
So
just
yeah.
They might.
Okay, one
they
second.
might
Miguel.
come- Okay.
Obviously, we're talking Champions League era here. Let me just readjust this for a moment, and I think you'll all agree with what I'm going to do. If we were to do this in terms of overall winning of the trophy, these AC Milan and Liverpool have got to move up because of how many times they've won it. I think that would be fairer. But still, my point is Chelsea are moving up another echelon where they're. Do you understand where I'm coming from? They're still moving to a level that only a handful of teams ever are better than. It's. Do you understand where I'm coming from, Miguel?
And you've also probably got to weight recent success more heavily than success. Like obviously Ajax won the Champions League, the European Cup 3 times in the 70s, but not many people who are currently football fans, not many people remember that, you know.
Yeah, I think I feel
sport
that the
changes
way
a
that it
lot.
was originally, before you just shifted them there, was I think the closest you would get to it being right. So AC Milan and Liverpool are very good, and Chelsea an average. I feel like that this right here is the tier. Like that is it. I think that's perfectly fair. Because when you actually compare it, yeah, Liverpool fans and United fans, you'd be like, oh yeah, but look how great our teams were. Da, da, da. But when you compare it to Bayern Munich, to Barcelona, to Real Madrid, what is it? What even? You know what I mean? Like it's okay. Good. It's not well done. It's very good. Like, the fact that Real Madrid won 7 in this time period and won all of their finals, just puts everyone out there.
I'm not convinced by Bayern Munich, to be fair.
The thing is,
they've won it, but I also feel like they've underachieved.
No, I don't know. I mean, when you look at overall, Real Madrid are away, but they're 13 times winners, 3 times runners up in their lifetime. AC Milan 7-4, Bayern Munich 6-5, Liverpool 6-3. The only reason that you haven't, you could argue if you had 2 more finals, maybe you'd have more victories. You might have more defeats. You'd be about the same as them. It's the ones like Barcelona 5-3, and then we start dropping down. Ajax 4-2, but they haven't been in a final since 1996. So what do you say? And then you've got United and Inter on 3 each, Juve on just 2. The point is, As soon as if Chelsea win tonight and they go on to 2, the next category is Inter and Man United on 3. They're there. They're almost walking through that door now of elite royalty, you know?
Terry, you cannot say what if they win. What about if Man City win?
But that was also a part. That was the next point I'm about to make. If Man City win, yes, they only go into the same level of titles as the Dortmunds and the Chelseas and everybody else. But look where they are. Like for me, it's what they've been fighting for, to be European champions, to be out there and be the best in the world. And they're pushing themselves towards that now, City. And it's the first step in many. They need 3 or 4 more over the next 20, 30 years, which is a hard thing to say, but they've got the resource to do it. They've got the manager to do it. Nobody would bet again. If we win this year, Pep, I wouldn't bet. If someone said, he might win another 2 or 3 in the next 5 years, I wouldn't say it's inconceivable.
It's possible.
It's very possible.
Very possible, yeah.
The team's just too good. They spend the money right. Like it's real. And then you see, like, even with their youth now, when you see they could have technically held on to Sancho. The problem is Sancho was impatient, right? Like anybody who's following that saga, and I was following her pretty closely because it was covered on Full-Time Doubles and I watched them a lot. It was Sancho wanted to play earlier, and Pep doesn't care. Like Pep is very much the type of manager. He's like, if I don't think you're ready and there's players in the team ahead of you, they'll play. Just like Phil Foden had to wait, right? Like no one's going to say Phil Foden's not good enough to start day in, day out in that team, but Pep has his process. So if you're not going to respect his process, you don't play there. So they developed youth. They buy correctly. They have the best manager in the world. It's like they could literally win the next 3-4, and none of us would sit here and be. And that's part of the reason why I'm not so worried about if they win today. It's like it's kind of deserved. Like Gal, you said it earlier, where it's like they've done everything right to this point where all the hate can be out there. Cool, remove a rivalry aside. They're just a really well-run club with everything going right for them in the last 10 years. It's just what it is. It is what it is, right? Like, so that's why today I'm more calm and I can just enjoy, just like you. I can just enjoy today and be like, cool. I won't enjoy it if Chelsea win because of the people in my life. That's the only reason I wouldn't be happy if Chelsea won. It has nothing to do with football reasons, right? So today, I hope we have a good game. I just saw the team list come out. Pep's not playing with the DM. Okay, interesting.
We'll get those teams.
I have a vested interest that Manchester City win today.
Well, you do.
As a fan of football,
and what is that vested interest, bro?
As a fan of football and having to deal with these guys for the whole summer and the whole of next year, trust me, if Man City win, we can all sleep at night with peace. If Chelsea win, we will not be able to hear the end of this. And just remember, Manchester City won a league title. We didn't hear them gloat, and they were humble. Chelsea got top 4. They were pushing it down my throat.
Right, though.
You are right, but you know what's interesting from a banter point of view? But I also think as a Gooner that if Chelsea win this, yes, you've got more league titles than them, but you just know it's going to take you an eternity to catch them with where you are. I just want to bring this up right now. I want to share the team news with you. Everybody said now it's not confirmed officially by Man City that he's in this position, but everybody was worried that Pep would do something weird. According to the graphics on Who Scored, Sky Sports and BT Sports, he's playing Sterling as the false 9 and KDB in the middle. No DM, as we've mentioned already. Phil Foden left, Mahrez on the right. So, people say sometimes does weird things. Could this be another Pep Guardiola weird moment where he's gone for no DM, which he never does, and Sterling's playing the false 9 instead of KDB, who's been brilliant there, or Gundogan, who's been brilliant there? What's your thoughts on that lineup, first of all, from City?
So, okay, I think okay, if we're going to be honest, so there's 2 ways to look at it. Yes, this could be seen as like Pep not doing what he does, but it also could be seen as Pep lost to Chelsea twice already this year, right? Or once. It's like maybe he's looking at it. He didn't want to show this hand in that last game. Maybe this is how he feels he can beat this team, and he didn't want us to see it. I don't know what else to say, because it is weird that he always plays the DM. So this is really weird. Like he always has a DM. So maybe he's just looking to play with possession and just I don't know. That's a tough one. It's a tough one.
And look, we have to stress that the game could start and Foden could be central, or Foden could be like we always. You know what? Sometimes it's like with the graphics. Maybe Foden actually is in midfield, and KDB is in the false 9 role, and it's all moved around a little
It's going
bit.
to be a fluid front. Like, it's going to be fluid. I feel like at any moment, one of them is going to pop up front. And that's what makes it, unpredictable. This is typical Pep, like in a high stakes game to make changes like this. But this doesn't even look weird to me at all. This just looks literally like a very fluid front six that Chelsea's not going to know what's actually going on. It could backfire, but this is so typical Pep.
There's got to be a worry for City though, because they haven't got a DM to mark Mount and Havertz playing for Chelsea there. There's a lot of space between the defence and midfield for them to operate in now, because they don't have a DM whose job is to cover that space. That's got to be a worry for them, surely.
Yeah, and normally if Cancelo went and filled in that space, then you could understand it. But he's playing Walker, and I don't know. It seems I'm puzzled by it for sure.
It reminds me of when was it Spurs or Liverpool where he just went full out attack, played 3 at the back, played Sane left wing back, and it reminds me of that. And it's just like, you don't need to do that. Like Pep in this game didn't need to go 6 really good attacking players and a back 4. He didn't need to do that.
Well, maybe he looks at it as if they get up early, then he can easily bring in his DMs and just play with possession and keep the ball. Like maybe that's what he's looking at. It's like, let's score as fast as possible, break Chelsea down as fast as possible.
His fullbacks are not going to bomb forward. He's still going to have 4 people relatively close. Like they're not going to bomb forward.
David, you look stressed, bro.
Do you know what it comes down to? I think is if they win, no one's going to mention this lineup. If they lose, the rhetoric will be straight away. The rhetoric and narrative that's put out will be, he played with no DM. He played Sterling as the guy through the middle. That was the mistake that cost them. Now, David,
the classic Pep.
The classic Pep thing will come out. David, your lineup is out. Give me your thoughts, mate.
I'm happy with it. The only difference, I mean, I hope that it's Aspie at centre back and then Reece James. That's the only thing. But I mean, that would have been my lineup personally.
Terry,
So
looking at the lineup, it looks completely different from what we are seeing. They have Gundogan as the DM, Foden in the midfield, and Kevin De Bruyne as the false 9, with Sterling and Mahrez on each side.
That's what I said. I said that it could just be that a couple. When a team came out, the graphic might have been put up wrong by someone. But the point is, playing. I said before about this whole DM role thing in the group chat. The DM role thing is the biggest myth in football. There's no such thing as a DM role. There's what the fuck are you good at doing as a player? And it's true. Like if you're a good defensive player and you play 20 yards up the pitch, you're still good at tackling people, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, is Gundogan I'm asking City fans in the comment section, because there's lots of you there right now. Are you happy with him playing that holding DM role, or should you have gone for a player that it's a natural position for? It's going to be. Where are you getting that graphic from, Igal?
BT Sport. I'm watching BT Sport
stream. They've got it up there different. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, as you say, who scored may have put it up a little differently in relation to that. But from a Chelsea point of view, as you say, we probably know that Aspie is going to play as fullback because Jim and James have played in these positions quite a lot recently. Yeah. How confident are you feeling now, though, mate, that kickoff is 61 minutes away?
I'm shitting bricks, Terry. Honestly, I'm so nervous. I've accepted that I think City are the favourites and I think they're probably going to win, but the kickoff's an hour away and I'm so stressed. I'm shaking in my chair right now. I'm legit shaking. I'm so scared.
You know what I would say though? This season has been the season for underdogs. If you look at what's happened around in European football, you had obviously Villarreal on Wednesday. You had Inter Milan, Lille win the league, Atletico Madrid win the league, Leicester City winning the FA Cup when they weren't the favourites against Chelsea. So maybe there's something in that. I'm not saying it gives you more of a chance because of that, but that could be a thing. Maybe the underdog story is something that
I got a still image, Terry. If you want to see it,
I've got it, bro. It's cool. Yeah, you guys keep chatting. Put it up.
I'm gonna say it's like maybe, but this City team is just so good. They're just so good. Like people are looking at it like, oh, they don't have this player or that player. They always are going to be missing a player because they've got so many in every position.
Yeah.
Every time, like, oh yeah, like Gundogan has played deeper in the past. He wasn't the greatest.
He actually has. That's a good point.
But he has played deeper in the past. So they're just going to pin us in and just press. They're just going to pin us in and like not let us out.
But you guys got the counter at least, right? Like you'll be able to hit him on the counter.
That's the thing, isn't it? If you get out, you've got space to exploit.
That's the hope.
The weirdest thing for me though is Sterling. Why is he there?
Oh yeah,
he's been so out of form, and if you need someone to be a finisher, who would you rather on the end of that last chance? Because it ain't Raheem Sterling. If it's literally 0-0 and you've got that one chance through a goal 1-on-1, and it's Sterling, you don't have any
other option though, KJ. I mean,
Bernardo Silva, like
no, any other option. He could play Foden out there. He could play Fernandinho in the midfield. He could have played Roger in the midfield.
I want to play Fernandinho. He's clearly doesn't want to DM.
You know what I mean. He could have. Who else is on the bench?
Ferran Torres. But Torres is more of a
also have to look at
Torres over Sterling, and
Sterling has
is a
been able
right
to
winger.
get a
He's a
penalty
right winger.
before in the same position against Chelsea. He's
Right.
a tricky winger, and he can get those. He can get them. He can get them in the back foot and
I
get
mean,
a penalty.
I look at that midfield and I see if he's gone for the most mobile midfield he can. Because last time Mason Mount was spinning Fernandinho and Rodri quite easily, both in like not in the second game. In the second game, like Pulisic was really having it quite easy whenever he went up against Rodri. So he's gone, let's be as mobile as possible and try and track Chelsea's runners when they do get out. But when we go forward, just absolutely pin them in. Because our defence is, even though we've had a good defence as he's come in, it's still the same players. And we've seen that like under a Lampard. When they get pressed, they start making mistakes. Our goalkeeper with his feet isn't the greatest either. So maybe press him into a mistake as well. Like
where a lot of people say is Gundogan playing CDM. I would not. People have got to stop thinking about players stop thinking about the prescribed position you see them in on the field of play. It's what their role is to do. Yes, he's anchoring the midfield. I wouldn't call it a CDM. I would call it in my day when I was a kid, we'd call them holding midfield players. He's there to hold on to the position and thread the ball out wide, almost quarterback style. That's what he's going to be there for. If it is Foden and Bernardo Silva, they're going to be going forward, trying to be those creative sparks. But obviously, KDB, what he'll be doing in his position is dropping deep. That should allow the space for the Fodens and the Silvers to run into. It's going to be very, very important. They're not the worrying thing is if they do get out-muscled in that middle, because Chelsea's midfield is very, very strong. But I wouldn't say Gundogan's playing CDM as a central defensive midfielder role. I think he's playing holding midfield or sort of quarterback role. That's how it appears to me looking at this anyway.
Do you think that Pep might be trying to like drag centre backs out because he's playing Foden, Silva, De Bruyne, all players who like to operate in that half space? You might be trying to drag one of the centre backs out to one of them and then create the space for Mahrez and Sterling to get in behind. That's the only reason I could see him going that attacking.
I look at this lineup,
anyway,
and I think that City's going to just. I don't think Chelsea's going to see a lot of the ball. If I'm going to be honest, I don't think like Conte's going to be so important. Conte is going to be the most important player on the pitch for Chelsea today. He getting that ball, breaking it up, and getting it forward as fast as possible is their best chance with that lineup. Because I've watched City there's a few games I've watched where City had similar lineups where they just play with teams. They just play with you, and it's really frustrating. The close control on all those players is phenomenal. So they're just going to kick about and hope for an opening. They're going to wait for a mistake, I think.
Sorry, mate. What's really interesting about the super chat is a lot of City fans were saying in the comments earlier on when we first started taking calls, talking about what are City going to do differently, and could you see City relinquishing a bit of possession and trying to attract Chelsea out and catch them? Can you see Pep employing them tactics?
Nah, if you was going to do that, you play Fernandinho and Rodri, who have got better defensive awareness and better defensive attributes. You don't try and do that with Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, and Foden in the midfield. Like that wouldn't make any sense. So I don't think he's going for a counter-attacking style of play. If he does with these players,
if the opportunity arises,
genius.
If the opportunity arises to counter-attack, then obviously they'll take it. But I don't think it's going to be a primary tactic of theirs. It's going to be interesting to see how Jorginho, because I figure they're going to try and hassle Jorginho and close him down quickly. And if
Well,
they can win the ball off him, then it could be.
There's a super chat here that says the last 2 games between us were a battle of the midfield. Pep has handed us the advantage without a DM. Chelsea FC champions of Europe is what's being said there. Rowe, who we know is a regular Chelsea fan on the terrace, says Havertz is going to outrun and dominate Gundogan. Pete here says, what are the benches? We'll go through the benches in a few moments for you as well.
David.
I'm quite enjoying looking at David's face right now. David looks
I don't think you understand. I don't think I've ever been as nervous for a game. I don't even know why.
David, you look like you're waiting for the police to turn up. It's like, are they going to be?
I have exams on Tuesday. I have an exam on Tuesday. I can't do work. Like, I was sat there, I was writing, and my brain was just not focused. I couldn't do anything.
If you were studying hard now, instead of getting up for this game, I would seriously challenge your dedication to your football club.
David.
But still, brother.
Yeah, David, you know, it seems like you might be doing this counter-attacking style just for this game. Would you not have preferred Pulisic to start? He's quicker than Havertz.
No, because if you put Pulisic there, you've got 3 wasteful, creative players up front. At least would have, he's gone with the most efficient attack we have. So even though, Timo Werner's not the best finisher, when you have those 3, that's where we score our most goals with the least amount of chances. You've got Pulisic in. When you put Pulisic in there, he dribbles around a lot. And then he'll pass it off. But who's he passing it off to? Havertz is our best finisher.
When you look at this super chat as well, though, I think it makes a fair point here, Mohammed, where he says Pep Guardiola doesn't rate Chelsea's attack. He's basically going out to try and hit these man for 5 and to see if they can hold out. I think there could be an element of truth in that super chat.
To be fair, he did go on BT.
No doubt. When we look at that Chelsea lineup, I mean, City fans in the comments, I'm asking you this. Get your comments in now. Are you scared of that attack? Tony here with Super Chat says they are going to play 4-2-4 and overload our 3 centre back is what Tone thinks.
Didn't they try that in the last game?
Absolutely
Jorginho came in. I think that's what happened in the last game. They tried to overload them with Jesus Aguero, and I can't remember who the 2 wingers were. And then he brought on Jorginho, and Jorginho was just able to help negate the pressure that front 4 was putting on because he can pick out a pass quite quickly. That was the issue last time. So I think going Jorginho might mean he doesn't try that this time.
Yeah, you look at the comments coming here from City fans. They do not, for whatever reason, rate the City attack at all. Just a quick shout out, viewers. Thank you very much. We gained over 100 subscribers during the build up to this game. So a massive thank you for doing that. Make sure you turn on bell notifications. Share this stream on your social media platforms. Encourage people to join us. We'll be here for another 5-10 minutes or so. We are live straight after the game. So if you're new to the Football Terrace, we go live straight after. Live instant fan cam reactions, phone-ins, debates, player ratings, and all that jazz. So make sure you stay with the Football Terrace. It's full of rivals as well. So
I'm going to have to go, Terry. I'm going to have to go before I go.
Here says Kovacic has now been dropped in more Champions League finals 4 than Paul Scholes 3.
Well, why did he couldn't play?
That makes no sense. Anyway.
Terry, Scholes only got dropped for 1, maybe 2, but yeah.
Terry, I'm gonna head off, but before I go, I just want to say this is gonna be if it's a cagey game, advantage Chelsea. If it's a high scoring game, advantage Man City, and I'm expecting it to be a high scoring game. So Man City 3, Chelsea 1. That's what I'm saying. I'm out of here, guys.
See you later on, bro. Sorry, mate. Ro here says Thiago Silva is going to play long passes to beat the press. He plays like a midfielder. Well, Guardiola's said that. Guardiola has come out and basically said they do this, they do that, they play out quickly to these. It's what he said. What's more embarrassing for Pep is him calling out in 37 seconds how Chelsea play, but not being able to stop it. That's you know what I mean. It's crazy.
Yeah, David.
You know what I'm scared of? I'm actually terrified. Go on.
Is you know what's magic? You said that this is your most efficient attack. You know how poor that is if those players is your efficient attacking line.
That is our most efficient attack.
Yeah.
Everyone else, all the other wingers are wasteful. Tammy Abraham, he's not a striker. Giroud is old now, so he kind of he can be there, but often the game's not right for him. But
Yeah,
that is our most efficient
Guys,
attack right
I
now.
won't lie though. I might have to go Derek if Havertz wins this game, like has the winner. Oh Lord,
I've said,
crazy though? Sorry, go on, David.
I was going to say, I've said our key to winning this game is Havertz. Havertz is the key to winning this game. If he has a good game, we'll win this game. I think it's that simple because we will make a chance. Like we will make one or two chances. If he's on the end of them and he scores them, we're going to win this game.
I really want to see at some point, or moving forward, Havertz as a false nine because I really think he could be a really interesting player for Chelsea moving forward, and even look at playing Werner as an inside forward from one of the sides. But I don't know whether
what you need from Havertz today is none of this nonchalant crap that he likes to do in front of goal. You need him to be on it serious and strike the ball. Like the reason why Werner even scored that goal against Real Madrid is because Havertz was trying to be that guy in it. Like he hit the bar for no reason. Like Havertz is extremely talented, extremely good footballer. He just needs that little bit of a killer instinct in front of goal, and he's clear.
Do you know what I find? Do you know what's interesting tonight? There's two players. We mentioned one already I just realized there's no Tammy Abraham on the bench. You might have already mentioned that. It went over my head. Sorry, because I'm doing so many things at once.
Wow.
But I'd like Aguero to win it because I like Aguero and I feel like he deserves it. But there's also this part of me that would from an Arsenal point of view, would love to see Olivier Giroud win it because when Giroud left, it was meant to be like he's going off, his career's over. We've got Aubameyang, we're back. And he says Giroud could end up going on since then to win Europa League, an FA Cup, and a Champions League. What a swan song of a career! And in that time, a World Cup as well. Amazing.
He won the FA Cup with Chelsea.
Yeah, they won it. They beat.
Against us, didn't it? Against us. Yeah. He's been at Chelsea for that long. Bloody hell.
Yeah, he's been there for like 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. There we go. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back live at full time. So make sure you tune into the Football Terrace then. I'm sure everyone who's on screen now will be back giving us their reaction. No one's doing anything with this Champions League final night. It's a write-off evening. David, good luck, I suppose.
No, not him. He deserves all the pain in the world.
There we go.
I love how we each have a Chelsea fan we really don't like. I can't.
I do get that. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all your super chats tonight. The 3 names going into the prize draw tonight. You've got an opportunity tonight to get yourself into the prize draw by guessing my man of the match as well. Lee, Charles, and Malik, all 3 of you tonight. Brilliant questions that you put in are all going into the prize draw to win a football shirt of your choice. So make sure you get your super chats in at full time. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again.